Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Collider Live. That's right, Collider Live. It is Wednesday, October 2nd. Only reason I know that is it is the day after my birthday.
Happy day after your birthday.
Thank you so much. Thank you all the wonderful fans out there who are wishing me a happy birthday, and colleagues and friends. It was very nice. Hey, Alex is in the booth, and hey, Cody Hall is in the booth. Roxy Stryer is not in her usual seat today because we're doing it a little different. As you see, we started a little early today.
We early. Shocked.
Man, we are pumped.
Are we pumped or punked?
A little of both. A little of both. I like what you did there.
Thanks.
I like what you did. We get a lot of great guests here. Today is something special, and I think a lot of people are going to be excited. He is the star of the brand new film Girl on the Third Floor, and he is a former UFC fighter. He is a MMA commentator, and he is a former WWE superstar. He is CM Punk. Phil Brooks will be here in just a little bit. He's going to be in studio. We're going to talk to him, sit down and talk to him about an hour, me and you, Rox.
Crazy.
It's going to be cool.
The amount of text messages I have gotten.
Just because he's coming in.
Yes.
He does that, man. He does that. He's got that. He's got that thing about him.
That loyal fan base, too.
He hasn't wrestled in 5 years.
It's crazy.
So the fact that, and there have been rumors about that, and look, to be completely honest with you, Will asked, he might not want to talk about wrestling at all, but we'll take a shot.
Yeah, why not? Shoot your shot, Kristian.
We'll take a shot. But I think the main thing is we want to talk to him here about this movie, The Girl on the Third Floor. It's a horror film. We watched it last night, and we'll talk to him about that. So you asked me as we walked in how my birthday was.
Yes, I want to know.
It's odd because the birthday itself, not good at all. The day was great. Right.
Okay.
So 4 a.m, get a phone call. My poor mother-in-law had a pretty bad accident.
No, what happened?
She fell. Leave it at that. But she fell, and bad accident. Wife had to wake up at 4 a.m, go to take care of the mother-in-law, call the paramedics, had to go to the hospital. Still in the hospital now. She's okay. But it was a thing. So my wife was gone all day.
What do you tell your kids?
Grandmommy is what they call it. She just got hurt, and she's in the hospital. So mom's there. So I took the kids, and I went full on Michael Keaton style, Mr. Mom, right? I was time-wise, I had from around 6:45 to 7:50 to get the kids fed, do all the stuff, get them to school, do the whole thing. 7:40 out the door, right? Got them both, and then I just spent a lot of time with the baby. And it was, like I had good quality time with the kids all day yesterday. Didn't really get to celebrate the birthday, but I'm not really complaining because I also, RB3 came over and David, and I wasn't planning on doing any streaming or anything too, but they were teaching RB3 how to kind of run the SEN stuff. So I did an impromptu kind of birthday stream, talked to some fans. It's weird. It was like a good day, but it just wasn't a birthday. Does that make sense?
I mean, something that I don't know how to phrase this so that it's not rude, so I'm just going to say it like this, and hopefully you get it. It's kind of nice that you took the day off then, that you were able to do that, because like that aligns. Right. Yeah, I mean, it's not ideal, but like the fact that you were able to be in that position.
I already had the day off anyway, so I was able. It wasn't like stressful. I didn't have to call in. It was already done. So
I'm sorry that you didn't get the birthday.
Yeah, you know what happens.
We could pick a different day.
My birthday,
like next week.
At this point, it happens. Like my wife had just had the baby 2 years ago, and right around the same time, and was recovering. Didn't really celebrate the birthday then. I moved twice on birthdays back-to-back years. Your
40th was the birthday enough for a decade. So that 40th was crazy.
It's funny because that was the one that I was like, I'm okay, because that was a great birthday.
Oh, so good.
And I'm not a big birthday celebration guy anyway.
I was on your Twitter at midnight because I was looking at, which by the way now has 40,000 views.
I know, I've retweeted it a couple times because I wanted.
Unbelievable.
You were talking about the Phoebe run.
So I was looking at it. I hadn't checked my Twitter all day, and so all of a sudden I check my Twitter. It's blowing up. So I go to your page and I click on it, and it's exactly midnight, and so balloons start popping up, and I was like, "What the fuck's happening?"
Oh, you didn't know?
Well, because I knew it was going to be your birthday, but I didn't realize realize the time, and I click on my video and balloons start coming out, and I was like, "Is this because we hit 20,000 views?"
No, it's almost 40, which is amazing. And I wasn't even planning on posting it, but I was like, might as well, and it was great.
The amount of people asking me, kind of like Makuga gets, is that real?
Is that real? So
that's the tame
my
version.
8-year-old watched it about 20 times.
Oh no,
loved it.
She's 20 of the 40,000.
Loved it. The 2-year-old also really enjoyed it.
Oh gosh,
really enjoyed it. So you're making kids laugh across the world.
I don't know what I don't know.
15-minute.
I don't think that's how I'm running when I'm running. Do you know that?
Right.
But when I'm doing it, I feel like,
you know what it is? It's a kick. It's like the left leg kicks out. That's what it is.
I literally feel like name a runner. Wilma.
Wilma?
Yeah.
I was gonna say. I was gonna say the artist formerly known as Bruce Jenner.
Yes, I feel like I am gliding through the air, like sprinting and
like a cheetah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not.
I know.
Yeah.
I saw the video.
Right, but it's adorable. It really is, because you know
it.
why? Because you own it. And that's how you do it. That's why it's very much like Phoebe, because Phoebe's just so happy.
Yeah.
Right? And I think Joey Moda said it. Our photographer for Schmodown had said it's just like a 7-year-old running to grandma's house.
Yeah.
It was great.
Might as well have some fun with it.
Might as well. And we're gonna have fun today, ladies and gentlemen, because it is this interview is gonna be something. I've never met this man before.
Really?
Never met him.
So your paths never crossed?
No, he popped once. I was gone from wrestling at that point. 2001 was when I was gone. He hit the scene, I think, I want to tell you 2004. I think. But he was real big. I remember like 2011, 2012 in the WWE, and I had gone to SummerSlam. I think it was 2000 and might have been 11, because I think the late great buddy of mine, Roddy Piper, got us tickets to SummerSlam, and we went because it was whenever that was at the Staples Center that year, and I think he fought. I don't remember. I didn't know, because I was so out of touch for wrestling. I didn't know any of the wrestlers. I didn't know anybody. I didn't until like 2016. Didn't realize who was who, but all I know is I heard about him. Like, I heard about him all the time. Ken loved him.
If you had to guess, Kristian, because you talked about this like It Factory thing, but if you had to put your finger on it, what is it?
About him?
Yeah.
Well, he's fantastic on the mic. That was a big thing. He was fantastic on the mic. It was a no fucks given attitude that the fans really loved. It was his ability to cut promos that people didn't know if it was a shoot or work, meaning that they didn't know if it was off script or planned. And he just had that rebel against the foundation or the corporation type of attitude. And that's what popped for Stone Cold also. So he's just one of those guys. He was a different, and he wasn't this big jacked up looking dude. Vince was always known for having the Hogans of the days, the Ultimate Warriors. That's not him. He was like kind of the everyman wrestler, and that's why I think he went over so well with the fans. And his personality is just, it was big.
He kind of had a crazy childhood too. I feel like it definitely motivated him to be this massive superstar that he became.
I'm sure it did, and I wonder what it was like. And that's some of the stuff we can ask us for, just like what it was like growing up, because he grew up in Chicago, and talking to just his 4 kids, I think, or 5. You know better.
I don't know. I don't know. I know he is one of 5 children.
That's okay. All right. So what was that relationship like? With the brothers and the sisters and stuff too. So there's so much. This is almost gonna be like we would say one-on-one interview, but it'd be 2 of us here talking to him, and we'll talk about all this stuff. 2
Collider Lives, 1 punk.
All right, I'll give it to you.
Anyway, best. Don't give that to me. You're getting soft on me.
I like it. It wasn't horrendous though.
Okay.
It wasn't horrendous. But listen, I want to talk to you before, because this might get interrupted, and if it gets interrupted from our guest, then so be it.
Yeah.
You did see Joker last night. I did not.
I did.
I'm going to see it tomorrow.
I did not.
Did not.
Yes.
What did you think?
You were being a good family guy.
Yeah, there was I wasn't going to go
happening.
generally. The stars did not align last night for me and the Joker, but it will tomorrow. How about you?
I did see it.
And?
I thought that it was incredibly excellent.
You loved
it was amazing, Kristian. I cannot picture you not loving this.
Joaquin Phoenix nominated for an Oscar?
Definitely going to be nominated. I think he probably is going to win.
That good?
Yeah, he's unbelievable. The choices that Todd Phillips made were incredible.
Yeah.
I do understand people's gripes, issues, concerns with messaging, but no more than any time you see a crazy person on screen and we're diving into
Taxi Driver, Mean Streets, all this.
Exactly.
Right.
I think that
American Psycho.
I have a feeling that hardcore Batman and Joker fans are actually going to love this movie, which I think I was not feeling before based on all the rumors going in of storyline and such. I thought, we might be in trouble. But after seeing it, Kristian, every choice they made, I was like, whoa.
Favorite movie of the year?
No, not my favorite movie of the year because still, you know me, I like things that hit me at my core, connect with me in my soul. So Peanut Butter Falcon, The Farewell, those are the ones that. But it was if a Joker movie could not have been better than this. This is the best version of the Joker that we could have seen.
Music, score.
Excellent. And there was a couple of song choices that usually would have thrown me off because we're talking about like huge songs, and I was like, "What?"
But it fit inside of it.
Yeah. And as a rock and roll
Suicide
girl,
Squad had that problem. I thought sometimes the way they tried to use a particular popular song and it just didn't fit for the actual tone of the movie.
This was so not like that. No,
wow,
we've super earned it by the time we get to the big songs, and it was like gangbusters by that point. Even my co-host of DC Movie News, Mike Kalinowski, Schmodown Star.
How do you feel about it?
So for the first hour, I'm sitting next to him, and I'm like, I can sense his energy. He's kind of like teetering. And then by the time the last half hour takes off,
locked in.
He was squeezing me like he couldn't even.
Did he love it? He loved it.
We all, Adam, Mike, and I all are completely obsessed with it.
Okay,
completely
cool.
obsessed, Kristian.
Raving
it is
review.
so great.
Raving review from most people that I see from this office loved it. Fernandez loved it. Roca loved it.
I would bet $1 million that you're gonna like it.
Okay.
I cannot picture you not liking it.
Well, I'm going to check it out. I'm seeing it tomorrow. Bummed that I missed it last night. Very bummed that I missed it last night.
It doesn't matter. You were with your kids.
No, I know. Exactly. We'll see it tomorrow for sure. That's
Who are you going to go with?
Just a couple of friends. Yeah. We're going to probably see it tomorrow.
All right.
Yeah.
Shady.
Just a couple of friends.
Yeah, Blake, I don't know your friends.
No, you don't.
Really?
No. Do you know Lewis?
Is that a made-up person?
Do you know Sam?
Are you making people up?
Do you know John?
I'm pretty sure you're making people up.
Okay.
Speaking of John, did you hear what we found out about yesterday?
No.
Wow, this is a big one. Big
What?
news. In England,
John Roca.
they refer to
Yes.
condoms
Oh, it's Condies. I heard
as
this.
rubber johnnies.
Oh, yes. I heard that part of the conversation.
news.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard that.
Can't
whole
ever
thing.
hear the word John again.
I'll tell you, I heard that whole thing yesterday. Again, who the hell am I to judge? I thought your accent was really good.
Thank you.
I thought it was good. I mean, but again, Britt is going to tell you it sucks, and you have to take that.
Oh, he said
he didn't say it
was-
sucks.
yeah.
He just said it needs work.
Yeah.
Which he said is like he compared you to Gwyneth Paltrow, which I thought was pretty good.
Yeah, I'll take it.
You take it. And everybody shitting on Makugas, and I don't know how the guy gave Alex an 8. That was I don't know what that was.
Kristian, what was that?
I don't know what that was. Alex doesn't know what that was. Alex, did you deserve an 8?
He just walked
Yeah,
out. He's
that's-
talking to Ace right now.
Oh.
Hey, Ace is over there. Hey,
What's Ace?
guys. Hey.
Is that the Ace Man?
Yeah, Ace Man's
What's
over
he doing here?
What's Ace doing?
He was on Movie Talk.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I have not laid eyes on Ace in 2 years.
The aciest of the aced.
When's the last time you saw Ace?
In person, not in a little bit. Otherwise, I've seen him on Twitter.
I as well.
So we've seen him
in person.
Yeah, no, I
you
haven't
say
seen
that
him in
like
person.
you FaceTime with him.
I Skyped with him about 6 months ago.
How'd that go?
Good. He's doing well. He's doing that show with RB3. They recorded it last night.
What's it called?
The Meaning of. Very true story. You don't think that's true?
Oh, I can't tell today what's a fabrication and what's not.
That's good
Are you
stuff.
going to the movies with John?
Sam,
You named 3 people.
Bill,
No, that's a 4th person.
Shauna,
No, now we're just throwing in random
Carol,
names.
Ann, and Sam.
You really are going with friends I don't know?
Yeah.
I've never heard of them.
Don't think you have.
Didn't go to high school with them?
College.
You get a lot of Florida people out here.
Yeah. So what are you worried about?
Is it Mike
Your hair is
Kalinowski?
getting different.
Oh.
I noticed.
Different how? All women love to be told they're looking different.
No.
It's great, great adjective.
You've gone super blonde at some points.
Oh, I'm about 3 weeks out from going blonde again.
You're going back to it.
Well, I like the root, but
You're not doing the perps anymore.
I might.
You doing the perps?
I don't know. I haven't decided. Here's what's happening.
Your grandmother did not like that.
Well, she did not, but I'm okay with that.
You're like-
'Cause
you like
stick
little-
it to the man.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
My girlfriends whose weddings I've been in
Oh.
have been saying no.
Oh.
No to the pink purple.
Yeah, I don't know if you should do that yet.
For the wedding
Just
pictures.
respect the wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah, do it afterwards. I understand.
Did you know I can make that noise?
Oh, come on in.
Oh, hi there.
Ladies
hi
and gentlemen.
there.
Hello, where do we go?
Right over
You're
here,
right
sir,
over
please.
there.
Joining
The
us
empty
on the
chair?
show. Yes, sir. Joining us
How'd you
right now.
guess?
He is the star of the brand new film, Girl on the Third Floor. It is in theaters and on digital platform. Ladies and gentlemen, it is none other than Phil CM Punk Brooks. Phil, how are you, man?
I could not be better. I've heard people say I couldn't be better if I was twins,
If
and
you
I
was-
still don't understand
I
what
don't
that
get that
means.
either.
Could not be better if I was twins.
I guess if you're...
Are they the best?
If there was
No.
two of me,
Maybe.
I
It just
don't know.
depends. We got to deal with... Yeah, it's too
I
much.
still don't get it.
It's too much. How you doing, man? You all right?
I'm great. If I'm allowed to drink my coffee right
Please
now
do.
in
Here,
here,
do what you got to do.
Cheers to
I'm
that.
good.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
With you.
Do what you got to do.
You reached for yours. There was none.
I knew that it was. I
Yeah.
thought I had coffee, and I didn't fucking have any coffee.
We blew it.
Dude, it's a pleasure to have you for so many different reasons. But let's talk about. I want to talk to you about this movie here because I got a chance to see it. I watched it last night. It's got a Shining vibe to it.
Oh, thank you.
For sure. How do you hear about this project? And is it something that you're a big horror guy? I mean, I've seen you on The Walking Dead, the after shows and stuff too, and you're a fandom there. But is this something that you've always wanted to do, a horror film?
Yeah, I mean, I was one of those kids making corn syrup blood when I was a little kid because I found out you could do that. All the red food dye in my house was gone. I've been a horror fan since I could remember, and I think the appeal was watching movies that I was specifically told I wasn't allowed to watch.
Sure.
And seeing movies like what I call a gateway horror movie is like American Werewolf in London.
Definitely,
I remember
man.
my
Sure.
uncle being like, "Yeah, go ahead, watch it," and watching it, and it's cool. But you don't really get the visceral horror until the end of that movie,
Right.
and then you're just like, "Whoa!"
Right. But was that the brilliance of those movies back then? Though,
Already,
too?
yeah. Well, less is more.
Yeah.
Like how much blood is in Halloween?
Right.
0.
Right.
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 Now, obviously, there's part of me that loves just ridiculous, over-the-top slasher films,
Right.
like the stuff. Friday the 13th obviously took that and ran away with it. But how I was approached with this is, to me, it's a funny story. They were looking at not auditioning me, but offering me the role. They didn't know how to get a hold of me.
Okay.
And then MPI, the distributor, works with Bobcat Goldthwait. Bobcat was like, "Oh yeah, you should use Phil." He directed me in a couple episodes of Marin.
Oh, okay.
So he was like, highly recommended. Dude's easy to work with. Was just simple, and he was great. So.
Bobcat's a fucking good director too.
Dude,
man.
I know.
He's really
like
good.
so wild.
Yeah.
So wild. And obviously, like, I'm super grateful. He was just like, "Yeah, Phil's great.
Yeah.
Let's use him." He wanted me to use me for some other project that I think fell through, but Marin emailed me and was like, "Bobcat wants your number. Can I give it to him?" I said, "Yeah, go for it." And then simultaneously in the MPI offices, I have a friend of a friend who works there who was literally like poked her head out of the cubicle and was like, "I know Phil." And they were like, "What?" So I got an email. They, "Hey, MPI wants you for this movie, this is that." And just based on the names, just companies and personnel who were behind this thing, MPI, Dark Sky, I was like, how do I say no to this? I've been offered tons of stuff. I liberally say no, because it's just stuff doesn't add up. It's
That's
not
what
right.
I was going to ask you. So, because you've been out of the wrestling game for about 5 years. So, in that time, have you been offered a lot of movies and stuff? You're just like, no.
Yeah, and it either a lot of the way it goes is like, "Hey, I want to develop a movie. I want to do this movie with you." Okay, great. I get the script, and it's bad, and then I can easily say no. Or it's a good script. I'm like, "Great. So what's your plan?" "Oh, well, we don't have any money, and not just for you, but we don't have any money."
Oh, sure. Right.
So part of the idea is like, well, if you agree, you're attached to it, and then maybe we can help generate money and stuff like that. And I'm not in the business of knocking on doors and trying to generate money and stuff. I got other stuff going on. I understand that's part of the process and stuff. So I am, I get that, but. With this, it was just like, "Hey, we want you to do this," and Travis Stevens wrote and directed it. So, research Travis Stevens.
Right.
Travis Stevens, Uderowski's Dune, Starry Eyes, We Are Still Here, and then like all this other stuff. And I was just like, "Wow, this is super legit." And they're also like, Steve Albini is doing the score, and I literally paused and I was like, "Wait. How did you get Steve Albini?" Like, it was a weird. It's a weird thing. Steve Albini is like this elusive myth. in Chicago rock history, and I know for a fact, dude just likes to sit around and play. But Steve Albini is just like me when it comes to wrestling. You know what I mean? Right. Everyone's just like, oh, how come you're not producing music and you're not, in 4 different bands anymore and you're not this? And Steve's just like, I don't know. I just don't want to.
Just don't want to do it.
Whatever.
Well, they knew how to lure you, man. They knew how to get you in.
So they got me, because it's such a Chicago-centric movie, and they hit all the right buttons. I'm such a Chicago guy. I was just like, yeah, I'm in, and I'm glad. It's one of the better experiences I've ever had.
And that doesn't happen to you often, where somebody is pitching you a project anymore, and you're just like, yes, all the pieces are together. Usually,
no. I mean, I'm just at a fortunate place in my life where I can, I'm not hustling as much as I used to have to. I've gotten to a point where I'm comfortable, and nobody's suing me anymore. So I'm not just throwing money into a fireplace and watching it burn up into the ether. I'm just chilling. And a good day for me is like, oh, hey, I wake up next to my beautiful wife, my beautiful dog. I walk my dog, I work out, I train, I have fun. And then if I have projects that I am positive about and love working on, then I can do it.
And are you hoping that's what the rest of the life looks like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
See,
absolutely.
And you mentioned that when you it's funny because you bring the beautiful wife and the dog, and I'm like, how much did you have influence in the script also? Like, were there some stuff that
no,
it wasn't because the music you're listening to and everything.
It came to me like that.
Crazy.
I mean,
they wrote it for it.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I mean, pretty much.
Yeah, because there's so much stuff. I mean, from what I know about you, is that I was like, oh, this really it probably made you very comfortable to do all this stuff. Yeah,
super comfortable.
Yeah. But the one thing is, because this is like this is your movie. I mean, you're like for a lot of it.
Every frame almost.
That's what I mean.
This is what I tell people. I go, 85% of this movie is like my face.
Yeah.
So if you get a problem with that, maybe skip it. I don't know.
Well, that's also, I'm sure, like one of the main, like you said, like one of the main reasons that they know get you involved in it, get you interested in it. Put together this great team, and then because if you're passionate about it, then you're doing shit like this. You're coming around, you're talking to people because you want to talk about it. Because we've seen in the past shit you want to talk about it, you don't talk about it.
Yeah. Days like this are a mission. They are tough because I'm just bouncing around town, and traveling in LA is rough. You know what I mean? When you got to get from West Hollywood to Burbank and back and forth.
I do it every day.
It's
sucks.
a mission,
It sucks.
So you understand.
Yes.
But when you tell me to talk about something I'm passionate about, I'm there.
Yeah. So with that though, because there's pressure on you. So do you at one point are you like, do you ever doubt yourself, or you're just because you come off very confident dude, or is it one of those things you got to get there?
So there's a thing called impostor syndrome, right? Do you know what this is?
Fuck yeah.
This is a real thing, and it I think deep down, I think a lot of people have it. They don't recognize it. It happens a lot when people switch careers, something that I've just liberally done, sharp lefts and rights here. I feel like the rest of the majority of the world looks at me and sees CM Punk, the pro wrestler, and that's what they want. They want Phil from 5 years ago, but I'm at least trying to constantly grow and evolve. And you walk in doing this, and it's real weird because if you ask me how it is to act, I'll tell you it's kind of easy.
Yeah.
But then the flip side of that bizarre coin is I think I'm terrible. It's real strange, and 85% of the movie being my face is. I don't want to say it's stressful because it's done. I already filmed it. People are going to watch it. It's already going to show on screens. It's done. It's in the can. But it's just like there definitely is that feeling of you want people to enjoy it and like it. But I think from me, that grows from a place because I enjoy doing it so much and I like the film.
Yeah.
That's the biggest compliment I can give myself. Like I watched it at South by Southwest for the first time in a packed theater, and I was like this. And then like as people reacted and laughed at things, I was like,
right.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
I don't hate this movie.
Well, what about this actor? So Sarah Brooks, any relationship?
No relation.
Yeah.
But she's fantastic.
Yeah, she's really good.
So good.
She's really good in it. I was because she knows who she looks like. She looks like Miri Jedigan.
Oh.
And when I was watching the movie, and I was like, she kind of also looks like an Ali Larder type. I saw Sarah Brooks. I just didn't know if any But what about the first? You have a lot of scenes with her. Any? So how is that like? You know, 'cause it's all about chemistry, obviously. So, first meeting, do you meet her at the table read, or is there a lot of rehearsals? Like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we did two table reads. One at the MPI offices, and then I think we went to Soho House in Chicago one time. And yeah, I mean, you think you have to develop a chemistry with everybody you're going to be on screen with. And one of the more difficult things about this movie for me was the first two. I mean, it was a 4-week shoot. The first 2 weeks was me and the dog.
That's it.
I had nobody to play with.
Was that your dog or just
no? That dog's name was Riker.
Okay.
That dog's the star of the movie. He kills
He's a
it.
good dog,
Absolutely kills it.
Yeah, he was really cute.
Dog is so good.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of like in this vacuum where I'm doing, you know, you do a scene with the dog. It's literally like, look at the dog.
Yeah. Right.
And then Travis would be like, cut, and I'd be like, huh? Acting.
Yeah.
What, do you want to do it again? No.
Meanwhile, the dog's like one fucking take and he takes off. He's done.
The dog was brilliant, and so it was hard to get feedback because, you know, what's good or bad there?
Right.
You know, literally just looking at a dog. You know, can Jack Nicholson do that better than me? Probably, but I don't know why. You know, so once people started coming on set, like Sarah.
Yeah.
Travis Delgado, who plays Milo,
Right.
and then Trieste, who plays my wife, Karen Woodich, who plays the nun.
Right.
You know, all these people I thought I was like, man, they really made me step my game up because I was like, and these people are fucking good.
Yeah.
And I need to be present, and I need to match that energy. So, yeah, I'd pal around with Sarah. You know, we'd goof around, I'd joke and ask her questions. And because we had some intimate scenes,
Right.
you know what I mean? So I didn't want to go into that like cold, but I also wanted to make sure every single female in this movie was comfortable. Like my comfort in those scenes wasn't I didn't care. I was
Right.
like, whatever you guys want to do, whatever you guys are comfortable with, like that's the way we're going to handle this.
And I don't want to spoil it because it's kind of the theme of the movie.
Yeah.
There's a lot inside of that you pick up on throughout the script, and there's moments that happen, and because I'm hesitate to tell too much about the movie because there's stuff you don't want to spoil.
Yeah.
But we will say that Phil's character, he goes and he's taking over this house and he's doing repairs and shit goes wrong.
Yeah.
That's pretty accurate.
Yeah, no, it is accurate. But what I think is interesting about it is, you know, the first person you normally see in a movie, the way the movies are structured is that's the hero.
Yeah.
And so, like, you know, the door opens and you see me, so you're like, oh, that's my guy.
Right.
And then I think based on your moral compass, the viewer, you're going to have to decide whether Don Koch is a good guy or a bad guy.
Right.
I think you're very likable, so that makes that decision pretty challenging in this movie. Going back to the imposter syndrome that you were talking about, I think you did a great job, but we do all have a little bit of that inside. What do you do to combat that? Are you taking acting classes? What is it that you do to make it so that you feel comfortable now changing careers and professions like that?
Well, I think I get obsessive with anything I do in my life. I think if I decide I'm going to bike ride, you know, today for my workout or whatever, I'm like, I'm not happy until I got 50 miles in. I can't pedal anymore, you know. So with the acting, I very much want to just hit the ground running and just work, because I think you can take classes and you can get tips and you can listen to people. I've always found the best way to do anything is to just do it. You need the experience and the reps, you know. So you need a camera, you need a production team. You just need like I said, the experience and the reps to do it. So I learned a ton on this movie, and I learned a ton working with the Saskas up in Toronto on Rabid. That's going to be coming out soon too. So I just hope to keep it moving.
What's that one about, Rabbit?
Rabid is a Cronenberg remake.
Okay.
And if you've seen The Fly, obviously,
Yeah.
that was also Cronenberg remade The Fly.
Right.
So I like the parallel with the Saskas taking a Cronenberg film and making it their own. Like it's not a
Daunting.
shot for
Yeah.
shot, you know, remake. I think you can call it a re-imaging, but it's amazing. Girl gets into a car accident and has a horrible disfigurement, and she gets a experimental surgery to heal her face, and you know shit goes
down.
shit goes shit
You're
goes south
Shit goes
fast.
south.
I know that we're talking about horror movies, but you also are a pretty big nerd like us in that space. What is the dream of dream roles for you in a comic book franchise or in our geek arena?
I hate to be that guy that says anything, you know. I obviously I look up to Dave Bautista in this arena. You know, he kills it with everything he does. But Dave is very, very smart, and he's not just taking every role offered to him.
Right.
It's quality over quantity. You know, I mean, the Marvel universe is so big and it's so vast. I would love to play a litany of characters. I mean, I got friends who are like, "Oh, you should be Moon Knight," and I'm like, "Well, Keanu Reeves should probably be Moon Knight. Let's be honest." But
Would you take it if it was offered to you?
a heartbeat,
Right.
in a heartbeat, yeah, in a heartbeat. I have used this answer though in the past when people have asked me that. Like, I saw Spider-Man, the last Spider-Man movie with Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
I honestly thought, I was like, man, this might be my favorite Marvel movie. It was just, I don't know, it was just fun and it was great, and the Mysterio character seemed almost made for those effects and CGI,
Right.
and what they did with it I thought was brilliant. So then you start thinking about like other Spider-Man villains, and then there's Kraven,
Yeah,
you know,
right.
the Hunter,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
Rumored
man,
for it to come in. Yeah.
well, they could really update that character for 2019. He could be like some crazy right-wing militia dude with an AR-15, you know, like that's in the news. And you saw what they did with J. Jonah Jameson at the end of that Spider-Man film, where they kind of made him like a
Yeah.
Alex Jones, like right-wing pundit. And I don't know, Kraven I think would fit, you know. But whatever they want to cast me as.
That's right. Are you happy that
I like
that
it.
Sony and Marvel fixed up their shit and now he's back into the MCU?
Yeah, that's all business,
Yeah.
man. That's all. I don't know if we're ever gonna know like the true story behind that.
Right.
I hear stories and stuff. That's all numbers, and that's way above my pay grade.
Right.
You know. So,
But as a fan though, it's
as a
good.
fan,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Because I think Tom Holland as Spider-Man in the Marvel universe is just such a delightful thing.
Yeah.
So I would have been upset if that went away. Yeah.
So just a couple things. One of the things you talk about as far as the work ethic that you put in, and we've seen that from everything that you've done so far, right? Whether it's wrestling, whether it's working on MMA, whether it's now you're announcing MMA and doing all these things. Where does that come from? Is it from like as a kid growing up in Chicago? Like, was it like when did you first like know? Like, who was it that kind of instilled it in you that you just because you had to move and
I think this is you could do a mock psychological profile on me, and I think the reason I am the way I am is because I was born into a situation where I wasn't a rich kid. I remember good Christmases, and then at some point, I was the kid who I just got socks for Christmas from that point on, and I just realized at an early age if I wanted something, I had to get it myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nobody's helping me. Whether you look at that and that bums you out, like it doesn't bum me out. It made me exactly who I am today. And it's just you can't help what you're born into, but you can help the end of the story. And I've always just tried to better my situation. I mean, before anybody knew who I was, I had 3 jobs. I was a manager of a comic shop and a skate park in Chicago, and I was independent wrestling and just always hustling because, like I said, if I wanted something, I couldn't rely on anybody else. If I needed something, I couldn't rely on anybody else. So I think coming from nothing, I think I want everything now, but not in like a spoiled brat kind of way, because I also don't want anything that I haven't earned. So I'm constantly like, what's next?
Right.
What's next? What's next? Even now, like I love Girl on the Third Floor and I'm promoting it, but there's a big chunk of my brain that's like, what's next? What's next? It's got to be something. I gotta keep moving forward.
That's such an interesting juxtaposition between I want to be at home with my wife and stay in bed and hang out all day, and what's next? How does that work? Still figuring it out.
Yeah, I mean that's like the bipolar nature. Like that's the push and pull. She's busier than I am. You know what I mean? So it's just like it makes it easier when she's like, "Oh, I'm writing all day and I have meetings." So I'm just like, "Well, okay, I got to find something to do then."
Right.
But yeah, it's that. I mean, that's just the balance of life, right? I'm still trying to figure it out.
I get it.
Yeah.
So when it comes to, well, it's acting, it's announcing, hanging it up as far as MMA goes.
I don't know.
Okay.
And that's the other thing about me is I'll never say never. I doubt I'll fight in the UFC again.
Right.
You know, I've had those conversations with Dana, but he says stuff to the media, but then he'll say something different to you in person. But I'm still great friends with him. Great situation. And
What do you mean he'll say one thing to media, one thing to you in person?
I think if I went to him, I was like, hey, can I get a third fight? I think he would say yeah.
Right.
But I haven't done that because this big part of me that's just like, okay, I'm 0-2. You know, like if I fight, I should fight somewhere else.
Yeah.
I should, you know, I should fight on I just do everything backwards. Start in the UFC and then work your way back down and then end as an amateur.
Yeah, it's tougher though because you got a later start in MMA too.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
It's like, is that
That's not an excuse. I don't like talking about it because
Yeah.
it's not. I feel like I'm making excuses, but yeah, I was afforded an opportunity to fight, and I'm the guy who's going to be like, "Yep, say yes to everything."
Right.
Yeah.
No, but it's one of those things. That's why I always, for when people said when you jumped in and you got a later start, and some people big critics of it, and I said, the guy's going in there to do it. You went in there to do it. You can say that you fought in the UFC twice, regardless. You were one of the biggest WWE superstars of all time, and you fought in the UFC twice, regardless. Because the second one went the distance.
Yeah.
And so, like that to me alone, and now you know the sport well, and you've been calling it. Is that something you also love to do as far as announcing it?
I am over the moon about that.
Yeah.
I do commentary for CFFC, Cage Fury Fighting Championships. It's a regional MMA promotion. You can see it on Fight Pass for UFC. And they're like the #1 regional MMA promotion.
Yeah.
So they funnel people to the UFC like crazy. So if you're a fight fan, like Paul Felder's come from there, Anthony Lionheart Smith has come from there. There's just a litany of fighters who graduate from there to go on to UFC and even Bellator.
Right.
And again, it's just like the movie where I'm just like, man, this is fun, and I'm surrounded by nice, cool people, and I'm passionate about this. And then at the end of the night, somebody gives me a paycheck for it, and I really feel like I'm like robbing somebody, you know?
Yeah, but you know your shit, and it's also the fact that people want to see you, and it. Roxy was asking me beforehand because I was at the WWE briefly when I was there, and I left in 2001. So you came in with 2010, 2009?
I signed in 2005. So you worked there?
I worked there for like...
in 2001 too?
Yeah, it was a writer. Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah. It was.
You're in the thick of it.
My first show was Kurt Angle with the milk truck as Steve Austin. That was my first show.
Wow.
It was awesome. But
so you wrote that?
I did not write that.
No, we'll go with that.
Good job, Kristian.
That was all Brian. But anyway, so she was asking me, she said, well, what was it about CM Punk that people loved? And I said, well, one of the things, too, is that you weren't the typical kind of big body Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah.
And you were also phenomenal on the mic, and you never knew where it was going to come from. Was it a shoot? Was it a work? We didn't know. And that was the thing that was kind of alluring about you, right? But that's also, I think, the thing that is so endearing, why fans keep asking you. Like you said, I saw an interview that you did recently to where they asked you if you're coming back, and people ask you all the time, you're coming back to wrestling, come back. And you had lost the passion for it. But what I've gotten so far, just talking to you here for this half an hour, is that when you find the fire for something, it's gung-ho, give it to me 100%.
Yeah.
And the fans also pick up on that. Is that, I mean, that's...
I think so. I think especially with pro wrestling, I was having a conversation outside with a couple people out there about the horror fandom and how there's this awesome community revolving around horror movies and characters. And I also think horror is out of all the genres, you don't see people making like homemade rom-coms, but I guarantee you everybody who goes to a horror convention to meet Kane Hodder or Bruce Campbell, they probably have VHS tapes of like the horror movies that they've made, because we're all kids who make the corn syrup blood at the end of the day. And I think the fan base for horror movies is as passionate about horror movies as the fan base for pro wrestling is passionate about pro wrestling. Like once they like you and they let you in, you're their guy for life.
Yeah.
And I think I haven't been there in 5 years, and they still chant my name.
Right.
I don't know if they do it every show, but I get tickled to death about it. And then that part of me that was passionate about pro wrestling kind of peaks out a little bit when people take a side. Like people need to stop chanting for CM Punk. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
He left us, blah, blah, blah. And I'm kind of like, I think it's funny because, you're mad about somebody chanting something at a pro wrestling show. And, like, that's the whole idea is to go there, have a good time, lose your inhibitions. So, like, why are you mad at that person? Like, that person's mad because this show sucks. And they paid their money, and they're just, they're letting the person have it. They boo and they cheer. Let them have fun.
Well, it's like movie fandom too. Happens all the damn time. Whether you like The Last Jedi or you don't like The Last Jedi.
Oh my God! Don't get me started on that.
Yeah. Where do you stand?
What? How is it a bad? How is it a bad movie?
There you go.
Oh, I thought you were I think it's a bad movie.
That was a major high five.
She's on your side. She's on your side.
Yeah.
Hugely.
Yeah. To rehash
question.
everything, my point is that it's not a bad movie. Ryan Johnson can make a great movie, and I think he made a good film. I just don't. I'm hard like as where you are with horror. Star Wars is for me. I just don't think it's a great Star Wars movie.
I'm there too.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, where do you rank it? Like, don't tell me you think Phantom Menace is better.
No. We
can still be friends.
Yeah. No. It's lower though, and it was significantly higher at one point, but it's not. You know what it is? It's not fun. It's just not a fun, like most Star Wars movies, even Phantom Menace, which I watched with my daughter recently too, and I've been saying this a lot. Phantom Menace to me is when I watch it like an episode of Rebels or Clone Wars now. I enjoy it for that because I understand what Lucas was going for more so than I did back in like '99 when it came out.
Well, it's so hard to have these lofty expectations too, right? Like,
totally.
like if I came back to pro wrestling, there's people who are expecting that 2011 Phil. And it's 2019. They would get 2019 Phil, and they would probably be like, "Ooh."
Is that part of what deters you from it?
No, I just don't want to do it. That's the only thing that deters me from it.
Let me ask you about that though too, because there are these. Obviously, the second you left, there's rumors that every day you're going to show up, whether it's AEW or now that there's rumors that you were at SmackDown doing stuff behind the scenes with Booker T and Renee Young. Any truth to the rumors that you were the SmackDown stuff that you were there?
Yeah, I did it.
You did do it.
Yeah.
Okay. And so is that something that you want to announce? Do you want to go back?
This goes back to me being in the position in my life where I'm like,
Yeah.
what do you got? I'm very much in a position where I'm like, well, talk to me.
So you're open to it.
I'm open to anything,
Yeah.
And if they come at me and they're like, "Hey, we want you to wrestle," I'm going to be like, "No, I'm not interested." But like, I've grown so much as a person, and I look back at all the stuff, and nothing needs. I don't need it. I don't need the confrontation, and I don't need the drama.
Yeah.
But if I'm a businessman. But I also put my morals and my integrity above business deals.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it is very much okay.
It's got to be the right deal.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? If you want me to do anything, well, okay, then talk to me, but don't waste my time.
What does that look like? What does the right deal? What kind of things are you talking about? Are you talking about finances? Are you talking about what specifically you would be doing? Are you talking about?
It would be all of it. I'm realizing now that this is live, and I'm probably dooming myself. But we're just having a conversation, right?
Yeah.
And it's I don't know, and because it's nothing I'm actively chasing, I don't have numbers or specifics or details or anything like that. It was just my agents got me on the phone, and they're like, "Hey, Fox wants to present the Fox spent a lot of money getting the rights for." What I understand, just SmackDown.
Yeah.
I thought it was the whole thing. I thought they were getting TV rights for WWE. So it's insane that what did they spend? $4.5.
It was something insane. It was yeah.
Is it like $4.5 billion? That's a lot of money.
That's how much Lucas sold Star Wars for.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So to get that, I guess they're looking at things, and ratings still are dipping, and that's been happening for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
Trust me, I'm not saying that it's because I'm not there or anything like that.
There's a lot of shit on the air, man. There's a lot of shit. There's a lot of content.
It's just always been that way. You know what I mean? I mean, when I was there and I was on top, Raw's doing 3.8s, and I'm getting blamed for it.
Yeah.
Like, that's a bad rating. And now they would fucking kill to have a 3.8.
Right.
So if my agents just called me and they're like, Fox is is throwing everything at this because they spent a lot of money on this and they're all in and they have to make it work.
Yeah.
You know, they reached out and want to know if you. I think originally, like, I thought it was like a WWE thing, so I was just like, no.
Right.
And they're like, this is Fox.
So you're dealing more so with Fox than you are WWE?
I'm not dealing with anybody in WWE.
I see.
You know,
Okay.
it was legit. They were just like, it's Fox. And I was just like, okay. And they explained to me what it was. And I love Renee Young. Renee Young's a great person. She's Canadian, so obviously she's like super over the top,
Right.
nice and friendly. And it's along the lines of like what I do for CFFC. But I prefaced it with like, guys, I'm not going to come in and just dump all over stuff to dump on it.
Right.
Like, you know, like I said, that's old Phil. But if it's bad, I go, I can't. I'm not going to be able to pretend that it's anything but bad.
Right.
So they want to present it like it's a real sport. And just have a show that recaps stuff, just like they do with NFL, just like NHL Network would do with hockey games and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's where we are with that.
Awesome.
You know,
And nobody from WWE reached out to you after knowing you were doing that to say anything?
no.
Yeah. This is the relationship.
I'm the boogeyman.
Well, that's kind of surprising, though.
Last thing, because I know you don't want to spend the whole time talking about wrestling. So, but I do. There was a clip from, because Booker T we've done a lot of stuff with for the show that we do, and he was asked some questions about that exact thing. And Claude, do you have the actual clip of what Booker said? All right, there it is. So yeah, Booker was asked about you coming back. The rumors.
Commentating job, you know, in the ring, he wouldn't be competition. But if CM Punk was to show up right now, I just got this job, okay?
You just got hired.
I just got
Fox
hired,
backstage.
you know, exactly.
WWE backstage.
If CM Punk was to show up, he would be competition for me.
Yeah.
So that means he's going to be a guy that I would call a rival.
He could be taking food off your plate.
He could be taking food off my table. So if Punk was to show up, I implore him to tread water very lightly. You know what I mean? I'm all about shaking hands.
Well, let me
I'm
see.
all about shaking hands. I'm all about saying, hey man, you know, welcome back. You know what I mean? But it's a saying, you know what I mean? Hey, don't cross the line. Don't cross the line, because things might happen. You know what I mean? I'm the type, I just might pop.
All right, we can cut it. But Booker T, the great Booker T, obviously. So, how's your relationship with Book?
As far as I know, it's all right. I watch that and I see I see the carny side of wrestling, trying to like, you know, work it and you know, everybody's always, I'm working, brother. Let's have another match. One more match, brother.
Yeah, he actually ends with that. He's saying that if you came back,
does he?
he came back. Yeah, if he came back in, that he would love to. Because he said you guys had a great respect when you were there. And
I love Booker. Was one of the first guys. I think when I was in ECW and he was King Booker. Like I think he came over to try to boost ratings on Sci-Fi, and like I wound up like rolling him up and pinning him. You know what I mean? And he was cool about it.
He's a good dude. Yeah, I like Booker. All right, so moving on, going back to acting, because you do these two films and it seems like you got the bug and you want to do more of it. What's are there talks about other things that you want to work on? Or you want to stay in the horror genre? Would you want to ever try to do comedy? Because Roxy and I were talking about this morning. Roxy said, I think he'd be probably pretty good at doing comedy.
I thought you had really good timing in the movie, so that's what made me say that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
think again, vague answer. You know, I'd be open to anything. What always, my wife always makes fun of me because I'm kind of a sucker for rom-coms. And I don't know if it's just that I like Ryan Reynolds, but like if
You and me both.
it's like a corny ass movie like him and Sandra Bullock, The Proposal,
Yeah, it's
like
a good movie.
it comes on, like I leave it on and I watch, and my wife's always just like, "You're watching this again?" And I'm just like, it's funny, you know. And you talk about timing, like that guy's got the best timing, so it's fun to watch it. I'd be open to doing anything, you know. I already have people telling me like, be careful, you don't want to get stuck in the horror genre, and I don't buy into that. I think if something's good, I want to be attached to it, and if somebody wants me attached to something that's good, I'm all about it. It doesn't matter what the genre is, because I think I can make things my own, like what I sort of did with this role in this movie, and I do it a little bit in the Saska Twins movie too, you know. If somebody came to me and was like, "We want you to be in a comedy," like I think that's great,
Right.
you know. And I'm also happy, you know, being paving the way for all the other future pro wrestlers who want to move over and do movies, because since I'm the first guy to leave pro wrestling and enter movies, I think I'm, making just trying to lead the charge and make a good example for everybody.
Well, you're joking too. What you mentioned, Dave Bautista, because Bautista was something for me. To be completely honest, when he first came out, I was like, oh, he's all right, and then I heard him on a couple different interviews. He's a hard worker, and he really. Blade Runner, he was great, and he was in a movie with, and I forget, Hotel Artemis that he was just in with Jodie Foster. I didn't love the movie. I loved him in it. Yeah. And he's just a dude. He was talking about James Gunn working with him and understanding like that kind of work ethic. I mean, because when you say you modeled and taught some of the stuff that you from Bautista, what he's done. Do you talk to him? Are you?
Yeah.
You are. You guys are pretty close.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So like, what advice does he give you?
Just that. Just keep an open mind. Don't say no to like, don't be like, oh, I don't want to do a rom-com. It's just like, with him, I think he had a tougher row to hoe because he's just such a giant guy, right? I can kind of be more of a chameleon and disappear. I think mainstream, the populace will always look at Bautista, and it's hard to see past, sorry, Dave, the goon. They see this big goon, you know what I mean? And that's not him. Like, he can do so much more. Like, if you saw Stuber.
Yeah, he was good in Stuber. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
Dude, so good.
Yeah,
and I think he tells me you just got to make fun of yourself, and I'm like, oh, that's easy. I do that all the time, and just be loose and be fluid and be accepting of everything. And like, just watching him, I learned so much just watching him. Not even talking to him. Stuber was so like wildly excellent. And like, I wish that was like a bigger movie, just because I thought it was so great.
What about action movies?
Would love it. I mean, I feel like I don't have the abs or the size for it. You know what I mean? But
that's why, again, and that's a rehash old stuff. But when that stupid interview that time when the guy asked you if you've been punched in the face, the most ridiculous interview I've ever seen.
What happened?
So he got interviewed
Which one
time.
was that?
I don't remember. It was some guy. I don't know if it was ESPN or whatever it was, but someone was talking about his first MMA fight, and then asked him if he's actually really been punched in the face because of wrestling. And you just looked at him. You're gonna ask me if I've ever punched? Yeah, I've been hit in the face, dummy. Right. And but
that person was probably so nervous.
No, he wasn't. He
no,
was arrogant.
I think it was a gotcha interview.
Yeah,
I think
it was somebody who was trying to
what an idiot. Then.
But the reason I bring that up is because of the fact that you guys, with whatever it might be. Well, first of all, MMA. Second of all, wrestling. You're coordinating. You're doing all this. You're fight coordinating all the time. So that's why a lot of wrestlers that's what they start with. So that's why I ask, because I think if you look at and I thought maybe that's what you've been offered in the past, because I mean the Marine is like what, Marine 87 now. There's a lot of those movies, but I was wondering if you'd been offered any action movies. Maybe that's one of them. Maybe not.
Yeah, a couple, but that's why I also think it's pretty interesting, because I don't know anybody else who's done horror. Like Dave hasn't done it, Rock hasn't done it. So, and obviously me being a horror fan, it was a no-brainer. But I'm also proud to be like, okay, yeah, that was my first. Instead of the atypical, okay, he's in an action movie. Like some sort of like a D-level like Expendables movie or something like that. I feel like that'd be easy to do. That'd be like a cash grab. So I feel this is more in my wheelhouse, and it's more arty.
And a challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's some gore in this movie, too. Some serious gore.
There's some serious gore. Like, it's literally 0 to 60.
Yeah, it really is.
When we hit you with it, we hit you with it.
And you can tell you're a horror fan just from watching a movie. You can tell you're a horror fan. But like that, there's one particular scene, and again, without a spoiler, there's something. It's really graphic, and you're like, the camera's held on it as the thing is happening. It's like, I can say it happens in the basement. That's what we'll say. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
Yep.
And so, are you, because you're not in that scene, but are you watching dailies going, all right, absolutely, that's fantastic. It's like Fangoria stuff.
I didn't watch a single daily.
You didn't?
I didn't want to be that guy who asked to watch dailies.
Oh, okay.
I just didn't, like part of the like it's a cathartic release was trusting Travis so much and knowing, okay, this dude's a director. He'll tell me what to do, and I'll just do it. And then I'm not going to want to see it because, again, I will criticize and borderline hate everything I do, Yeah. So if I watch dailies, I would just be begging, can we set that shot back up? Can I do it again? Can we do it again? You know, as I got more comfortable and as the weeks went on, there were some times when he'd be like, cut, I got it. And I'd be like, hey, can I do it one more time? And he'd give me the freedom to do that. Probably never used a single shot that I asked if we could do it again. But yeah, I just... I think I completely lost my train.
That's all right.
That's okay.
Good.
You said you watched the movie at South by,
Yeah.
but it sounds like you struggle to watch yourself back without having judgment. Do you try to avoid seeing yourself on TV, in movies, or do you do it just begrudgingly?
Well, I saw it South by Southwest, and I saw it last night here at Beyond Fest at the Egyptian. And I think the juice for me watching the movie is being surrounded by people watching it. So I can see and like feel the reactions, and I can hear what people are laughing at and what people are like gasping at. And I can see where we were building tension, and it works. I can see the guy in front of me like chewing on his fingernails. You'd never catch me watching the movie like alone.
Yeah.
You're not like putting it on at your house.
No, no. I think you can learn from watching whatever it is you do, but I also think I could learn more just from listening to the crowd react to it. You know, if that makes sense.
Totally. I mean, does that come also from wrestling?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
What I used to do when I got into a building was made sure that I was there right when the show was going to start. So when they dropped the lights, you would hear that it's like a Pavlovian dog response. You drop the lights in an arena and the crowd cheers.
Yeah.
Something's about to happen. Yay. And I would sit by the entrance and I would shut my eyes. Eddie Guerrero taught me this.
Oh.
So this is a free lesson for anybody out there. And if you're moving to a big network on Friday, you might need to start doing this to help. I would close my eyes and I would listen. They'd drop the lights, and I would be able to tell if the crowd was predominantly like women and children, if it was a louder roar, and if it was dudes, and that would tell me how I was supposed to wrestle that night.
How do you find that out? How do you do that?
Because if it's guys,
Yeah.
it's got to be more sport oriented, and it's got to be hard hitting. If it's kids, you can get away with doing some ha-ha. You know, guy pulls your trunks down and you're running around.
Right,
you know,
right.
Stuff like that. Like if it's women, I mean, you literally, I would adjust based on that. And sometimes there are just little adjustments, and sometimes I'd have to throw that out the window and change on the fly. But it just helped me better prepare and to better entertain that particular audience on that night.
When you find out tips like that, do you share them with everybody else that you're going to be on stage with that night? Or do you sometimes try to keep that like, okay, this is a special moment for me?
No, I always tried to help everybody as much as I could. What got me jaded on it was I think the culture backstage was always... I was always trying to figure out, is this person asking me for advice because they genuinely want advice, or are they asking me for advice because they think that's going to they think they have to ask for advice.
Right.
Because that will help advance their career, you mean?
Yeah, like, but
Right.
I'm very much a don't waste my time guy.
Yeah.
I know there was one guy right at the tail end when I was hanging on by a thread, but I was still, I was on every show. Somebody would be like, hey, can you watch my match? And I'd be like, sure. And I watched the match, and I would give him critiques, and I would say, maybe, try this, try something different, don't do the same thing, blah, blah, blah. And then the next night, he'd be like, hey, watch my match. I watched the match, didn't listen to a fucking thing I said, did the same thing, exact thing he did the night before, you know what I mean? And he'd come back and he'd be like, you watch my match? And I would just be like, nope, missed it. I was stretching.
Was that person ultimately successable?
I think everybody there's
Right.
successful, you know what I mean?
To some extent,
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
of course.
but I don't know if anybody looks at it the way I did. I was kind of obsessive, and I looked at it like art,
I think that people do. I mean, I heard that interview with John Moxley, with Jericho, and he was. I mean, I think a lot. Actually, to be honest with you, reminded me a lot of the stuff that you were saying. That why you got out even earlier, because of it wasn't fun anymore. It seemed like you couldn't be your own character. It seemed like there was because it seems like, and correct me if I'm wrong, it seems like the energy in the crowds and stuff, that kind of stuff never goes away.
When people ask me if I miss anything about it, it would be that.
Right.
It would be the performing and being able to pull the strings.
Yeah, that's a drug. look, that never goes away. Right. I mean, I did stand-up comedy for a very long time, and that never goes away.
That's tough.
But it's exactly what you're saying. I relate to that so much. I would read. You got to read the crowds. You got to know what material you're going to do that night. If you got 20 minutes, you got to know what 20 minutes you're going to do. You're not going to do particular stuff that's going to work with one crowd. You got to do it the other way.
Right.
But listening to that John Moxley thing and saying that whether it comes to Vince having his point of view, what it's going to do, you got to get out. So it does make sense what you're saying here, because you don't want to be there if you're not happy. You just don't.
No.
But when I bring up John Moxley and you bring up like AEW too, because we had in Cody Rhodes like last week, and
Brandy,
and Brandy, and there's all that stuff about the AEW with you too, and like there's something you had said about that they had made an offer through text message.
Yeah.
He said that there wasn't made an offer through text message. You guys they did make an offer. You got sat down at like a coffee shop.
He denied the text message.
He said
offer?
he
said that took place.
No, he said they
okay.
definitely texted you.
Yeah.
But he said people took you out to coffee and they had conversations too. And because this thing with WWE, even you're announcing. Because when you're saying you didn't have fun is potentially one of the two things. Coming back to a place where you could have control of your character, you could do more things that make it fun, less of a traveling schedule like an AEW, right? Mm-hmm. Or working with young wrestlers and maybe being as far as being a booker and something along the lines where you can teach younger generations. Is that something that's interesting?
I don't know, because there's a big part of me. I mean, talking about wrestling and me doing anything in the wrestling arena is it always feels kind of weird and uncomfortable, because there's so many variables, and the number one thing for me is I will never put myself in a position where I could be harmed ever again, and there's a lot of trust that goes into that. So,
what do you mean by that?
I mean, I gave of myself to a point where I look back at it, and if I didn't leave and walk out, I would be dead, because nobody else was going to do it, because I was sick and I was hurt and I was messed up, and the people put in place to make sure to help.
They weren't protecting you.
They're not helping.
I see.
You know what I mean? It's I mean, it is what it is, but I begged for time off for I don't know how long. I never got it,
Well, that's notorious, even back in the Ricky Steamboat days. That's notorious for that stuff.
Yeah, and I people tell me it's different now. Apparently you can go home with the sniffles, or you can call in, and like I say that, and like I'm mad at myself right now for saying that, because it's almost just like I'm trying to shame somebody. But like, if you're sick, you're sick. Go home.
Right.
If you're hurt, you're hurt. Don't wrestle. But because of the Fugazi lawsuit, like I have mountains of paperwork that they had to send over for discovery, where they're like discussing all these intensely crazy private things, but I'm not involved in the conversation. Like, they're talking about my mental health. Like, oh, do you think maybe he's depressed? And everyone's just like, I don't know, but he's got to wrestle in Europe, for 2 weeks.
Right.
So, and it's just like, whoa, slow down. Like, as a member of the office, shouldn't you like put a hold on that and take this guy off the road and be like, hey, we were talking, maybe you're depressed, But no, it was just like
that conversation never came.
No, not with
wow.
me. No, they had it internally.
Right, but never came.
They never mentioned it.
How do
to
you
me.
know that they had it internally?
Because I have the paperwork from the lawsuit from like Discovery. I got all their emails and stuff like that.
Do you think too? Because this is a conversation. I mean, Jesse Ventura used to scream about this shit all the time too. Is that because of Fox? Because now this is a much bigger thing now. Like you said, $4 billion whatever dollars. Are we ever going to see a union? Ever? No, never.
No, that's why I kind of my stance on when people are all like, oh, the boys. There's no such thing.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no such thing. And if you think there is, then chances are you're on a different level, and I don't mean a higher one, and I don't mean any disrespect. It's just that where I was at that time, I mean, it's insane how it's not a real sport, but it's more cutthroat than a real sport.
Yeah.
But it sounds like you did make real relationships, have real friends from being in there. Like we mentioned Bautista earlier, that some of the people are really in your corner and do have your back.
The funny thing about me and Dave too is like Dave absolutely 100% disagrees with me the way I left.
Yeah.
but we're both both grown ass men who
Right.
can talk about it instead of just throwing stones.
And that's what you want from a buddy anyway. You want
Yes.
you want someone who's going to tell you, "Shit, dude, I don't think that you went about it the right way." And you go,
Right.
"Well, I disagree. Let's go get a beer or
Yeah.
whatever." Right.
Do you still feel like you went about it the right way?
I feel I went about it the way I had to go about it because nobody else was going to take me out of that situation.
Yeah, like you just said that you feel like you honestly would be dead if you hadn't done that.
I mean, concussions, and I had a staph infection, and it's not getting dealt with. It's not getting helped, and their concern was just he's got to go out there and wrestle. He's got to go out there and wrestle.
From everything you're saying, it looks like you've made for your health and everything too. You made the right decision. You step back. You're doing some fun shit. You're also the other thing that you are is you're a film buff. You're a movie guy. Like,
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite movies? Like stuff like in any genre, not just horror.
Okay, so me and my wife had to do some touristy things.
Yeah.
So we went to Trejo's Donuts.
so
Oh,
good.
yeah.
They're good.
So good.
They're great. I'm a huge Stan's donut guy because we got a Stan's in Chicago.
One in
so
Westwood,
I'm a
right?
snob.
Yeah, man,
I'm a
they're so good.
snob. Anytime I eat another donut, I'm like, it's not Stan's. I can't finish
What's your
it.
thing though?
But
Like glazed,
Trejo's donuts
frosting?
were
Really?
excellent. Yeah. Boston cream.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like a good Boston cream, or I'm a sucker for all the seasonal ones. So like pumpkin and
Yeah.
apple spice donuts.
Stan's no joke though. The one in Westwood. My wife told me I'd never even heard of Stan's. My wife has grown up in Westwood. Took me there.
Amazing.
It's the best. Anyway,
So,
sorry. Go ahead.
so I was like, well, now we got to go get the tacos. These donuts were good. The tacos got to be banging, right? And we walked into the cantina, and Danny Trejo just sat us. He was just sitting. He was just sitting up there, and he's just like, "Hey, welcome. How are you?" And it's just like, awesome.
That's awesome.
And Heat is one of my favorite movies
Yes.
of all time.
So happy. That
So
you said
I was
that.
just like, oh, this is great.
What's the movie?
Heat.
Oh, Heat.
yeah,
Heat. I thought you said he's in one of my
no,
favorite.
no,
I
he's-
love Heat.
He's
Yeah.
Neil McCullough's boy. Yeah.
Oh my God, Heat's one of my favorite
And-
movies.
I
He's
saw
an
that.
absolute doll too,
Yeah.
Danny.
Yeah.
Did you get to talk to him at all?
I mean, I talked to them a little bit there, and
Yeah.
that was it.
Good
you know.
tacos, right?
Yeah, they were great.
No, Heat's no joke. I remember that because it's like a 3-hour Michael Mann. Have you ever seen Heat?
Yeah. Oh my God, it's amazing. For the 30th
so-
anniversary, I went and saw it
it's so good.
in Westwood at the theater with the talk with him afterwards with Michael.
I love
It
that
was
movie
great.
so much. Okay, so Heat's obviously one. Oh, well, and speaking of which, because we can kind of transition there, De Niro and Pacino have that epic scene. Obviously, they're doing The Irishman.
Yeah.
The reviews have been insane.
I'm looking forward to it. It's like 3 hours plus, right?
I'm down. Well, Heat's almost 3 hours.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
If not, so.
I know.
So, I mean, listen, if it's Scorsese and it works, 3 hours. You
Yep.
kidding me? Give me 6.
No, I'm with you. I'm
Yeah.
with you. I'm a huge John Carpenter guy.
Okay.
Grew up on those movies: Halloween, The Thing, Big Trouble in Little China. I love Shane Black.
Yeah,
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
great movie.
I'll watch anything with Val Kilmer in it. Salt and Seas, amazing.
Yeah.
Trying to throw like little bones out there for people who might not know, like the lesser known stuff.
That's
Going back
good
for a second though, I have to do it to him.
What?
To you.
Oh,
Christian's never seen The Thing. It's been a whole point
Really?
of contention on this show. Everybody wants him to see The Thing. It comes up at least once a week.
all the time.
Any
For the last 5 years.
any soft pitch for him on why he should see this movie if it's one of your favorites?
Practical effects.
Yeah.
This movie was made with no CGI, and it still blows anything out of the water made in 2019.
Are you going to listen to CM Punk or
Hard
no?
not
Just
to.
curious.
Hard not to.
Because none of us have been able to get
No,
him
I
to
know.
do it. So.
It's true. It's almost been it's been a shtick thing. So, but I don't know.
I get it. I get it. Like
know what I
there's
You
movies.
do?
Yeah. Well, here I'll blow your mind.
Okay.
I've never seen a Rocky movie.
That's fucking crazy.
No
Especially-
interest or what?
I know what happens. Like
No.
it's so pop
man.
culture over the top. Like
Creed,
I know.
did you see or no?
I know.
Oh,
I've never seen
I
any
know
of them.
everything
killing
that
me,
happens in the Rocky movie. Like
don't think you
get it.
do.
I
Phil, you're
do.
killing me.
I absolutely
Killing me.
do.
No,
What?
You could have said any other movie.
I've never seen it. I could quote the movie. That's how like over the top.
yeah, but you can't say Yo Adrian. That's easy.
Yeah.
It ain't
But
about how
that's-
hard
but
you get
that's
hit.
Yeah.
See, you can't. You got to
can't do
see
it.
the movie.
We'll do
Proved it.
All right. Well, maybe we'll watch along one day. We'll try to get you to do Rocky.
I'm curious about, because we have spent movie time, but I'm a big TV girl, and now
Mm-hmm.
TV is better than ever with
Yeah.
all the different places to go. In your realm, Disney Plus launching so many different shows right now. Are you going to get the subscription? Are you going to watch? Is there a show that you would love to be on? Or?
Yeah,
said Moon Knight,
absolutely.
right?
I'm getting.
Oh, that's true.
I'm sure I'm getting the subscription. I'll keep up to date with all the Marvel stuff. I saw an article recently where they like released the budgets for every single episode, and it's just like, man, they're all in.
Yeah,
they're spending money on this thing. So, I tend to gravitate towards like the lesser known, like more gritty stuff that's more up my alley. Like, did you guys watch Hap and Leonard?
No, what's that?
Oh my God. So Joe Lansdale.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Joe Lansdale's a writer, prolific writer, and he's written since like the early '90s this series of books called Hap and Leonard about like these. It kind of gives it away if I explain it. One, they're down like West Texas, I think. So it's like gnarly West Texas. One is a black gay Vietnam veteran. And his best friend / brother, they grew up together, was a conscientious dissenter in the Vietnam War, and he was like a peace-loving hippie white guy. Yeah. And they kind of like team up, and they're both proficient in kung fu, so you get your action. They tackle pretty stiff subject matter like racism and like all this stuff. And there's 3 seasons. I think it's on. It's either on Amazon.
Cody, bring that up. What's the name of it again?
Hap and Leonard.
Hap and Leonard.
There's a million.
Are those their names?
There's
Hap and Leonard.
There's a million books, and the books are awesome. There's 3 seasons.
There it is. Hap and Leonard. It is
Sundance
on Sundance TV.
3 seasons. Okay. There's 6 episodes each.
Oh, James Purefoy.
They're awesome.
I like James Purefoy.
They're
Netflix.
So awesome.
It's
on Netflix. There you go.
Yeah, so I guess one of those aired on Sundance TV. Then you can watch it on Netflix.
You can watch it. Well, that's awesome.
I'm a TV. That's my thing.
Yeah. Highly recommended.
I've never heard of this show.
Highly recommended.
You gotta check it out.
What? Okay.
Awesome. Listen, Phil, it was an absolute pleasure to have you on, man.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. The movie, it's Girl on the Third Floor. It's in theaters. It's on digital on October 25th. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to have you on. And if you ever, when you're doing this again, you live in Chicago?
I do.
You live in Chicago?
I live in Chicago and Milwaukee.
Okay. Well, when you're in LA again, please come back and let's just shoot the shit. We can just talk about movies next time. No more wrestling questions.
You got it. I mean, I don't mind. You guys are gonna get me in trouble for all those wrestling questions, but I'm the one who opens my mouth and says things. But
you're the man, dude. Thank you so much for being in here, guys. Thank you. Make sure you check this movie out. It is October 25th. Phil Brooks, CM Punk. Thanks, brother.
Thank you.
We'll be back after the break.
Hey guys, it's Perry here to let you know that Movie Talk is moving. We've had a great time in this 3 p.m. Pacific slot, but guess what? We want you to start your day with Collider Movie Talk, so we're moving. 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to get a longer show with some brand new segments, so tune in starting Monday, September 16th, 9 a.m. Pacific. See you there.
Hey everyone, John Roca here, the host of Collider Sports Time. Well, if you've been watching us every week, we break down the latest and the greatest in the world of sports, talk about the big issues, the big games, all of it with a rotating band of guests like Matt Nose and Josh McCouga. We've had Taylor Bisciotti on. We've had so many great guests. Now, if you want to see more of Sports Time or you want to try it out for the first time, remember to subscribe to Collider Sports YouTube channel for all the sports goodness.
Hey guys, it's Riley here. Let me tell you about the Riley Roundtable. You know it, right? It drops every Thursday on Collider Conversations, and I have guests from all across the space. John Roca, Gray Drake, Alexander Desplat came on at one point. We talk everything from movies, we talk about life, and everything in between. What do you want to hear? What do you want to talk about? It's the Riley Roundtable every Thursday on Collider Conversations. You get it there.
Hi, I'm Coy Jandro, host of Collider Heroes, and I'm here to tell you we've got 20-minute episodes coming at you on Collider Video on the YouTube as you've always loved it. Plus, now we've got hour-long podcasts dropping every Thursday, so make sure to subscribe to the podcast because it's going to get even more sweaty on the podcast. Plus, every week, we're going to try to get some very special guest interviews, all of the people that help shape these movies and TV shows you love. So, video, podcast, interviews, all coming at you. Be sure to subscribe. Thanks so much, guys. Stay sweaty.
Well, hello there. I'm Ken Knapsack, one of the hosts of Collider Jedi Council, and I'd like to invite you to listen to our show, watch our show. It's on every Thursdays on the Collider Video channel, and it's also available in podcast form if you'd like to listen to our sweet voices on Collider Jedi Council, me, Kristian Harloff, and a bevy of guests, I say, talk Star Wars, We celebrate Star Wars. We dig into the Star Wars news. We speculate everything about Star Wars, including your questions. So join us on Collider Jedi Council. You're going to have a great time.
What's up, Collider fans? Ryan Satin here from ProWrestlingSheet.com, where you can find the top stories throughout the week in the world of professional wrestling. If you're a wrestling fan like myself, then you'd be doing yourself a disservice by not checking out all the shows we do every week on YouTube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet. In particular, on Wednesdays, we've got a SmackDown recap show hosted by John Roca and myself, where we pick apart and talk about every little thing that happened on the Blue Brand. So do yourself a favor and go subscribe at youtube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet.
Hey guys, Riley here, and let me tell you about Rule of Two. You looking for a Star Wars fix? Well, Rule of Two is that show. It drops on Collider Video's main YouTube channel, as well as on Podcast One's Jedi Council feed. So go over there, subscribe, share it with your friends. It's hosted by myself and Mark Fernandez. We talk everything in the Star Wars universe with a lot of deep dives and a lot of conversations that go all in. You know what to do. Subscribe, join us there, and rise.
Hey everyone, John Roca here, the host of Collider Mailbag. A new episode drops every Saturday and Sunday in your face and in your ears, answering the questions from you fans about the world of entertainment, film, and television. Me and great guests from our sphere do the best to answer your questions from Twitter, from Instagram, and of course, email as well, every Saturday and Sunday.
Hello, how are you guys doing? I'm Kristian Harloff. I'm the host of Collider Jedi Council. We talk about everything Star Wars. It's movie news, it's canon, it's all of it. We take questions from you guys. How do you do it? Main channel, that's right here. Subscribe to this channel. But if you want to just listen to it, you got the podcast feed too. Apple Podcasts, you can listen to it in your car. Do all of it. It's Star Wars. Episode 9's coming out, and then after Episode 9, you got TV shows, so we're going to be your sports center for Star Wars. Do it. Come on, be real.
Hi, I'm Amy Dallin, one of the hosts of Collider Heroes, and starting right now, you can catch our show Tuesday nights with a new Collider Heroes and a longer Collider Heroes podcast, where Coy and I are gonna talk your ears off. You already know that's coming. So make sure to go to YouTube, subscribe, and find us on the Collider Heroes podcast feed for all of that sweaty goodness.
The Witching Hour is all over Collider right now. You can listen to that horror-filled podcast with myself, with Haley Fouch. We talk about witchiness, we talk about slashers, we talk about space horror, you name it, all on that show on the Collider Factory feed. And on top of that, you can find an article all about Witching Hour every single Tuesday on Collider.com. Check it out, get scared. Hopefully you survive the Witching Hour.
How are you? Nice to see you, everyone.
I don't even have.
Roxy, Roxy, you kidding me?
I mean, I just like.
Well done, guys.
First of all, how cool is he?
CM Punk
so
is,
chill.
Yeah, because you hear things too. Like, you know what it is? He's just no fucking bullshit.
No.
He's no bullshit. He just sits down. He
really nice guy.
Says what he wants to say and does what he wants to do. I mean, that's why he was so popular.
Also, yeah, it's gonna be a big one for us.
Yeah, well, it's true. I mean, look, he confirmed the WWE thing.
Huge.
Fox,
I was
cool.
really disappointed to hear that nobody reached out to him about the depression talk.
I had heard about that. I mean, he's been pretty open about that for a little while.
That nobody had ever, though, even to this day. That was surprising.
Well, remember, though, there's always two sides to a story.
Yeah,
I happen to you hear a lot of things, on. There's more so on his side that you've heard that a lot about the WWE. I mean, for the reports that Makuga watched on, was it the John Oliver thing? The John Oliver thing, like that kind of stuff. So, I mean, you tend to believe.
Makuga.
Yeah, you, Joshua Makuga. Joshua Makuga is here. Hello, hello, buddy.
What up?
How are you?
I'm good.
Look, we're going to talk a little bit. Not only did we have that amazing interview there with CM Punk, now we're going to talk about the thing that we wanted to talk about for so long, and this is the Halloween Horror Nights. We're going to show you a trailer in a second, but this was really awesome. The Halloween Horror Nights. It's at Universal Studios Hollywood. Screams to Life Select Nights from Friday, September 13th to Sunday, November 3rd, 2019. You go to Hyperlink. Is that what it is? Hyperlink?
No, that's the link. You go to the link.
You go to the link.
That's in our description.
Hyperlink.
Wow.
You just turned 44?
I don't know what this is. This is Hyperlink.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing to read here. Just it brings together the sickest minds in horror to immerse guests in the living. You read this fucking thing.
Here's what I'll
It's pretty
say.
easy.
Honestly, this was the time
It's not
of our
easy.
life.
It's all that shit up.
Here, Hollywood.HalloweenHorrorNights.com.
There you
Go
go.
to Hollywood.HalloweenHorrorNights.com. It's Universal Studios Hollywood. It scared the shit out of me. It starts, listen, they had the preview night already. It's September 13th, 19th. It's already gone. October 36th, 10th through the 13th, 7th through the 20th.
What was that
24th
last?
through the 27th, and the 31st. Those are all of October. And it goes November 1st and 3rd.
So here's
so
the
it goes
deal.
from 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. And you can go to HalloweenHorrorNights.com for all the hours of everything you need for the event.
HalloweenHorrorNights.com. Go get your tickets now. I am
Yes.
telling you, this is more than worth it. No, you guys will not have the experience of watching Josh have an actual mental breakdown, but maybe that might even make your experience more fun.
We got some tweets from fans that were like, I was there and I just didn't want to say anything because I was scared.
Yeah, I got a lot of those as
Saw
well.
that,
So
yeah.
this is, I do want to say though, such a thank you to them for having us because this was, I've never been to
you've
Halloween
never
Horror
been?
Nights. No, and I am a you guys know I love horror. I love
do?
being scared. Yeah.
What?
Did you? Well, you were too in your own world to know what was going on in
Yeah.
anybody
I've
else's
known you
world.
for- I've known you for a
Kristian,
long
do
time,
you
but
see me
in a
walking
year,
around?
yeah.
I was just smiling, bobbing my head. Like I love that stuff.
You were
I
having
love
fun.
the visuals. Every single different maze was unique. I love that some of them were kind of like more goofy, but then the Stranger Things
And we
one
missed a
scared
lot
the
of them.
piss out
We
of us.
missed like 4 of them.
Yeah, but the
4 of
Ghostbusters
9,
one
I
was
think.
4 or 9,
incredible. Us was wild.
Us
like
was really good.
everything that I was dying to see, we saw, and even some of the things that weren't the mazes, the scare,
Scare alley.
scare alley or whatever.
I think it was like because I think it was like the toxic tunnel because they were
Yep,
all
yep.
because they were all like zombies that had been like toxified.
that
or
toxic
whatever.
tunnel, if that's what it's called.
then those chainsaw
I don't trust you
people.
because your eyes were closed. The best drink I've ever had, literally the best drink
the
I've
pina
ever had, the
colada, yeah.
pina colada.
She was loving this pina
Oh,
colada.
I love that thing.
And this is coming
The
from a person
curly
we were lined up. She's
fries.
like, I don't want rum. I do
yeah.
not want rum. It's all I don't have. I don't rum.
Excuse me, I'm a changed woman. Halloween Horror Nights has changed me. I'm a rum girl now.
Yeah, you liked
Where's
it.
all the rum gone?
Yeah.
And Sarah and Lindsay, who like helped us through
Hooked
this
it
whole
up
thing.
so
Jesus,
hard,
man.
and thank you to Dorina for organizing that as
Definitely.
well.
This is amazing.
Huge shout out to them. This was awesome. Go
was
get
good.
your tickets.
Yeah, and props to Katie and Robin for coming out too
Yeah.
and enjoying the fun. But
She
look,
had fun.
we promised that we were going to show you because the full video won't be ready for like another week or so, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but we have not only do we have some clips, we have a full trailer. Now, Cody, are you able to just play the trailer over us?
I'm waiting on confirmation from Frank for the trailer because I heard that
Oh,
he
you do
still
not-
needs to blur out some faces. But we have the clips ready to go. We
All right,
can
all
go
right, all
from
right. Let's play the clips then first. All right, this is this first clip. So you all right? So you're gonna play. Can you play the clip like over us, or you have to see it? You have to see it from here.
I don't know what you mean.
Like
We can
pause,
show the
pause it.
promo.
Yeah.
Sorry, we can show the. It says in the email that we can show the promo and that we can't show the full video because of the faces. Is that not the case, Cody?
Hold on, let me look into it. Guys.
Okay. Well, what I meant, Cody, was actually not show it from the screen here and let the fans actually see it.
Cut to it.
I can't, but I can zoom in on it.
Okay. All right.
This promo had me hysterically. Josh, I feel bad with how much laughter I've had at your expense.
Yeah,
I feel bad.
The promo's pretty great, so hopefully we can play
The
it.
promo is everything.
I think you play the promo.
Yeah,
I think
let's-
because these are all like. I think this takes away from the video. I think we
Are
play
you
the
talking about the
promo.
one Frank sent?
Yeah,
Yes.
the promo. There's the promo. There was like 5 clips, and then there was a promo on the bottom.
I'm going to text it to you right now, Cody.
I have it, I think.
You
Yeah.
can Slack it. I think it would probably be the biggest file.
While we
of
do that,
images.
have you noticed that there is a groundswell of support for Josh McCouga that we stop doing this now, that we've done enough, that
I
Josh
know.
M'Couga is
Saul.
probably going to probably...
All right, enough of that right now.
Yeah, there it is.
Let us.
Okay, that works.
We're going to zoom in, and here is the start of the trailer.
Like gearing up to this.
Yeah.
What happens?
This is gonna sound gross, but you know when you get like a stomach ache and you don't know if you need to poop or puke?
Okay.
That's where I am right now.
Which one do you think it is?
Puke. How you feeling, Josh? Terrible. There's something coming. There's something coming. What is that noise?
We are taking you here today, facing a lot of your craziest fears.
I don't see myself doing very well the rest of the night.
I would say you'd be fine, but it would be a lie.
Katie Sackhoff's here.
Josh Paduga was chased around by 3 chainsaw maniacs.
What's going on?
Give me, you gotta give me a second.
He needs a minute. Clyde Alive, rocking it here at Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights.
We all have fears, man. I think you show them a lot more.
I did not like that.
Are you guys okay? I'm so scared that I did so
And that's the scariest place I've ever been in my life.
The good news is that that's the least scariest one that we're going to do today.
You're an asshole.
So good.
All right, so it looks like October 7th at 10 a.m. is when the actual video is going to happen. It looks like
Graphic
it was
Halloween Horror Nights or whatever.
You know, can you, Cody, go
We
to
were
those.
so ready for the segment.
I'm sweating. I'm sweating watching
So
that.
the clip that I do want to see is the Makuga cam where he grabs the kid, and I didn't realize it because I couldn't hear him.
Probably chainsaws. That's the
It's
area.
one of those. Yeah, this is it. This is it. So he grabs this kid, but listen to what he says after he lets the kid go. Watch. He's running away. Where's the kid? Oh, he grabs his kid. Now watch what he says after he grabs the kid. Who is this guy? You know what's so brilliant about that? Go back, please. Go back.
I wish
You didn't utter a fucking word to that human being. No. You grabbed them off the street like a video game prop. Look.
So the girl, Sarah, that was walking us around turned to me and said, well, the staff isn't allowed to touch any of the other party members. I guess that this is okay? Like, she did not know.
That's what I said to somebody,
She literally
too.
was like,
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, I did that to
I
2
don't think
people
they
because I did it to
prefer-
that one girl,
Yeah.
and she jumped.
Look how happy you are, though.
I mean, it's a weird because I think my face makes the same smile
Yeah.
when I'm scared and when I'm not.
You look,
right.
I mean, you look really happy.
It's also, what's that called? Fish lens?
Yeah.
Let's go to another clip because that one.
I think it's making you smile more than you really
maybe
were.
so.
Yeah. Oh, I mean,
you can pick one. You pick one, Cody, and we'll go. All right, this is another Makuga cam.
Okay, so this was
Walking
if I
with
can
Katie.
see it. Yeah, this is walking with Katie with that. This was.
Can you imagine if you cast Makuga in a horror movie?
He's been in a horror movie.
Plasterhead.
But just to do that. Like,
Were you scared on Plasterhead?
Yes. Oh man, are you kidding me? It was like in the middle of nowhere at night. I went out to go to the bathroom and I was like, I was held my bladder for like 15 hours until I got
Josh,
the light.
what's Plaster Man?
Plasterhead?
Plasterhead.
is a
It's
horror film.
a horror film.
Oh.
You never seen the
Starred in it.
trailer?
No, I don't
for
know.
it?
Yeah,
I was the
Plasterhead
star.
trailer.
Played Steve. No big deal.
Yeah, let's try that.
There it is. Look,
Can we
Plasterhead.
run
What does it
that
get on
trailer?
IMDb? 3.5 out of 10. That sounds about right.
Let's go to the trailer.
Don't shortchange yourself at 3.6.
Plasterhead Productions
stories.
presents.
That's all it is. Kids like to go up there and fuck around, scare the shit out of each other.
Your sorry ass wouldn't be caught dead up there after dark.
I got no reason to be up there. I got a wife and kid. I ain't fucking around with no legend.
You still talk to those guys?
This is his house in the middle of the friggin' boondocks.
It's in the bowels of West Virginia.
Yeah.
Was it actually in West Virginia?
No, we're in the Catskills. This is when I lived in New York.
There is a town.
Yeah.
You want to be out here?
There's my shoulder.
Where'd you go? Oh, look at! I know that guy.
Oh,
there he
that's
is.
me.
You die in this movie?
Sort of.
Right.
They were thinking of leaving it open for a sequel.
Oh, okay. It's possible they can get you back now that you're a big star. Look at that guy. Huge.
How long were you shooting for, Kooks?
Like 2 weeks.
No.
Yes.
Yeah. That's me.
That's that scream
I'm
I
a
know.
serious actor. Oh, there's Plasterhead. He got that girl.
Yep.
Yeah, we got her.
Did you get to fight
that
Plasterhead?
guy.
Did you fight him?
No.
No. He's a big dude.
Yeah. Then he got
Oh,
me.
you got your scream. Oh, he got you there?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I kind of think it looks good.
It's good.
Not bad.
All right, let's
Josh,
go.
did you want to be an actor when you moved out
When
here?
I first moved to New York, I was just acting, and then I
Mhm.
got then I started doing stand up, and then I moved out here, and then it was kind of like
here we
Any interest anymore or no?
I mean, if somebody offers me a role, yeah, absolutely.
Right, but you're not
I'd act.
pursuing it.
No,
Right,
definitely.
right.
I mean, I've written pilots and stuff like sitcoms that I would like to be the star of a sitcom, but that's like sitcom's not really acting. I'm just being me. You know.
All right, well, let's put another clip.
And you just pissed off every person who's ever started a sitcom.
I mean,
sitcom's not
Jerry,
really
as Jerry
acting.
Seinfeld said perfectly in like the first comedian.
Is this another clip? Katie, I never seen it. Look, she's cracking up.
You're supposed to be with me.
They got scared by a tree, you guys. Was that Wendy?
Was that Wendy?
And I just hold on to Katie.
Yeah, I don't think they have that clip on here, though. They're saving that for the big cut. You're like,
Oh shit! That one got me. Good job.
Tarina.
Good job.
Tarina's like grading the scarers.
Camouflaged.
So good.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that
so-
was a super scary one. That one.
that
got me
one
good.
was great.
There will be a ton of those. It looks like October 7th will be when this full video. I hope maybe we'll try to see if we can release the trailer on social media, the one that we showed today. That'd be
I'll
great.
find out. I got to check in with Frank.
It's so
He's got
good.
a lot going, but
That'd be good.
we'll get it.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, we have the trailer.
Yeah. Yeah, somewhere. Yeah,
We have the trailer.
Yeah, we'll
well,
get
I'm
it out
saying
there.
instead of not bothering Frank anymore, just see if we can just release the trailer online.
No, I thought there was something else. Never mind.
Um,
Yes,
okay,
I can
cool.
do that.
Great.
I
Okay.
get one more time, Hollywood Halloween Horror Nights. So it's HalloweenHorrorNights.com. HalloweenHorrorNights.com. Go get your tickets. It's the time to be afraid.
And make
Josh.
sure it's the Hollywood studios and not Orlando like Jeff Snyder did.
So yeah, if you go to
Did you see that?
Yeah.
What he bought tickets?
He
to
bought
Orlando?
tickets for Orlando and he showed up.
Yeah, and
So-
they're like, no, you can't have these.
If you go to HalloweenHorrorNights.com, it does say underneath Orlando, Hollywood, Singapore, Japan.
You can click.
Pretty. I love my player, but it's pretty hard to botch that. Pretty hard.
And speaking of Orlando, October 19th, right around the corner here, we are about 100 tickets away before we get to this contest. So you got to get to the schmodownlive.com, and we need you guys today. Get those tickets to schmodownlive.com so we can do this Willy Wonka contest here.
Can I come?
No.
Oh,
Sorry.
Wow.
You've been recently saying maybe.
Not for this one. You can come to the spectacular. Those tickets will be online very, very soon.
That's here.
I want to get to I want to get to some movie stories here because there's a big one that dropped I think yesterday, right? And that's the Rock and Vin Diesel. No more beef. What's
I
happening?
guess they made up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me. I got to pull it up here. But from what I remember, Vin Diesel and The Rock were trading messages about congratulating Hobbs and Shaw for doing so well at the in the box office. So, The Rock then kind of teased Fast 9. So I'm going to pull it up. The article's on there. If
This
Cody,
is what he
you can
said. He
pull it
said,
up.
last but not least, I want to thank Brother Vin for your support of Hobbs and Shaw. I saw your post, and I appreciate it. Lauren and I appreciate the weddings. Congratulations. We send love back. It was a classy post, and I appreciate it, brother. See, this is smart by Vin Diesel.
Very smart.
Very smart. It's like, unlike other people in the franchise who are doing dumb things, he is doing smart things.
Tyrese.
Yeah.
Here's the deal.
Tyrese is a moron.
There's probably like 5 people in the world who you like seriously don't want to be on their bad side. I feel like The Rock is
He's one of
very
them.
high on that list. But my question to you guys is, and I guess it's kind of a general question, but have you ever really made up with anybody?
Made up?
Like,
Yeah, of course.
like if you didn't like somebody at some point in time, even if you guys are fine and you're
There's still,
you're
like, a
okay,
remembrance of that time.
Is it ever really golden? And again,
It depends on
I
what
think
it
you
depends on what it is.
Yeah, you always
It
have a
depends-
kind of like.
Yeah, it depends. It depends on what it is. We don't know to the extent of what this was. Can you back up to the actual video there, Cody? What does The Rock say here?
Grind, gratitude, growth.
Can you push play on his message?
It's 2 minutes and 20
Yeah,
seconds.
just the beginning of it.
I think it's just a workout video.
Oh, is it?
Or maybe not.
No, I think he actually.
Oh,
There's
this is
more
when he talks
quotes
about-
under it.
Oh,
got
is this
it, got
the
it.
actual? This is what he said. Okay, never mind. You're sorry, guys. This is where it comes from.
Okay.
Those quotes because he said, "Yeah, what a wild ride this is, and what a wild ride it has been. When you and I spoke, and you invited me into the Fast and Furious family, I'm grateful for that invite." As you know, my goal was always, all these years, to come into the Fast and Furious world and help elevate the franchise in any way that I possibly could. If I could do that, then I've done my job. And now here we are 10 years later, this massively successful build-out and expansion. We did it the right way. We did it the smart way. And again, brother, I appreciate your support. And, of course, all roads lead to one thing. I'll be seeing you soon, Toretto.
Some guy, I got to shout out this dude because he sent me a a thing on Instagram, and he did some like fan art for Face Off, and he did Vin Diesel and The Rock.
That's good.
Which was kind of dope. Like I dug that. And then he did the other one, which was Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds on Face Off, which
That's
would
cool.
be hysterical.
But didn't you tell me it wouldn't really work with Vin Diesel and The Rock?
Why?
Because who did I pitch? And you said they'd have to be the same
height,
like look, kind of.
Well, they're kind of the same look, right?
Skin tone and like.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Nicolas Cage and John Travolta weren't like exactly the same. That's why the movie was so stupidly awesome, right? Like you can't just put a face on somebody and expect them to. And then they showed you the thing of like they changed the body and everything all via computers, right? So I think you could do it as long as it's not like I don't think you can do like white guy, black guy.
I think you could.
I mean,
I don't know.
I mean, maybe this new technology they
The
changed
new
skin
technology,
pigment.
2019
Right.
technology.
Well,
Yeah.
Either way, it looks like The
knows?
Rock is going to be seeing. We're going to see him more, and I think this is smart. It's a good way to promote both movies, and it's very smart by Vin Diesel.
They just have to have a working relationship.
Yeah.
They don't need to be best friends. They just have to have a working relationship. I just wonder, like.
Did Tyrese respond to any of this?
No, he's not going to.
No, he's still yelling.
You know what
at
it reminds
people.
me of, though?
You really think no? Because I'm sure.
Or maybe he
I'm
will.
sure he did.
But I just watched this whole video on it. Who are two action stars who fucking hated each other, who had a rivalry, who couldn't stand each other?
Katy Perry and Taylor Swift.
Close.
Stallone and Schwarzenegger
Hated each other.
Mhm.
Hated
they
each
really?
other.
So that was my second
dude,
guess.
hated each other. There's this whole video on where in '76, I don't know what the hell Schwarzenegger won some award for the Oscar. Maybe it was for Pumping Iron. I don't know what it was. But he was there. Stallone was up for actor, loses it, and he just sees this cocky Austrian looking over like, "I look like you didn't do it." And there was this beef forever, and they would always like you go back into Last Action Hero. He walks up to Stallone's or Twins. He walks up to the Rambo thing, and he kind of shoos it away like it's scrawny little.
Right.
They hated each other, right?
But
And they were
also, there was like the joke in Last Action Hero too with Stallone. Remember?
Which one was that?
In Last Action
Oh,
Hero.
with him as Rambo.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, as a Terminator. Right.
Terminator.
So, but yes, they couldn't stand each other. They hated each other. They used each other as competition. And then what happened was that, and Stallone talks about this, that he was on some talk show and they offered him "Stop or My Mom Will Shoot," and he's like, "I'm not doing that movie." And they're like, "If you don't do it, Arnold's going to do it. Like Arnold's going to do it if you don't do it." And he's like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, if you don't do this movie, right away, Arnold's going to do it." So he took it. It sunk his career. It hurt his career
so bad.
tremendously. And then Last Action Hero, even though has found an audience, did not do well for Arnold.
No. Right.
Same thing. And then they started to find each other, and they're like very close now. They're
Yeah.
they're like boys now. And that's why they do all these videos congratulating each other and success. And
I think
It's like Rocky and Creed.
yeah,
part of growing up, maybe too.
yeah. 100%. And I
Yeah.
think that maybe that's where Vin Diesel landed, because I think Vin Diesel probably saw The Rock coming in here on his territory, and he was the star of the movie. And
But Vin Diesel invited The Rock. I didn't know that part of the
it looked
story.
like it, yeah. And then
I didn't know they did.
The Rock was the one who pretty much turned that whole franchise around, and it probably stung Vin in the ass a little bit. You don't think so?
I don't know. Yes and
Egos?
no. Yeah, yes and no. Egos, yes, but like, I just as a business woman, you want your franchise to do well.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes. So if Vin is the one who invited The Rock in,
I know, but ego's a bitch.
It's true.
Ego's a bitch.
Especially at that level with that big of a franchise, and everybody's saying the franchise is dead, and The Rock comes and they're like, "Oh, it's back."
Yeah.
All Gino Toretto needed was a rival, and he got one. And then they brought him in to the fold.
Can I ask a stupid question?
Dumb.
You said Gino.
Gino Toretto. I think that's an old Miami quarterback. I
I thought you called him dumb.
Can I look that up real quick?
Yeah, Gino Toretto
Stupid
is
question.
his grandfather.
Stupid question for you
Yeah.
guys. Do you think that does have to do with testosterone?
Maybe. That what I just did, it didn't.
Maybe.
I think so.
Josh,
Gino
serious-
Toretta is a former American college and professional football player. who's
Toretta.
correct-
Yeah.
Toretta.
Close. You got-
At the
close.
University of Miami. There we go.
I had a girl. You figured it out.
Do you think ego has to do with testosterone?
I don't know the chemistry of the whole thing because
No.
I think there's a lot of girls out there with
Yeah, I think-
huge egos.
Yeah, Beyonce's got a big ego.
I'm not
gigantic.
saying.
So is
not saying
J-Lo.
that. So not saying that women can't have big egos. I just wonder. Do you think that adds to men's
Yes,
egos?
it adds a little bit more to it for sure.
But I mean, two jack dudes work out all the time, probably take a lot of supplements. There's like a lot of like, this weight room's not big enough for the both of us kind of a thing.
Totally.
Who does do that song? I got a big ego. Such a
I
big
think it's
ego.
Electric
Swift.
Company.
Goofy.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Wow,
So,
sometimes I'm so young.
Zappa,
and you
zappa,
guys
zappa,
are
zappa,
fucking
dee.
old.
What was that face at the end?
Because we didn't know a song that you hummed called "I Got a Ego."
Did you see what she just did at the end? She went, "You guys are old."
Out. Out to the OG.
It's like a rabbit left out of the cage.
Yeah,
I'm so old I missed that. I was like,
You guys ever play Rabbit or Chipmunk?
Huh?
No.
Now
are we
you're
old?
really
You gotta go
showing
like
our
this,
age.
and then you gotta see Rabbit or what do I look like, Rabbit or Chipmunk?
An elf.
You look like a
Someone about to fart.
rabbit.
Yeah.
Okay, I can do it.
Huh?
No, we're good. What's
Rabbit
next?
also.
Yeah,
Thank you.
And we have about 5 more minutes before we get a break. Anything
Okay.
else? Yeah.
We do have something.
What?
Josh McCouga, we've been giving you a little bit of shit for this Halloween Horror Nights. How about a Bad Boys for Life poster?
Did you see it?
No. Let's see it. Let's bring it up. Is it good? Yeah. No, you don't.
I don't like it.
Riley doesn't.
I
care.
will punch you in the dick.
I know you
Oh,
will.
it's not good.
Look at that.
Dude, that's not good. Come on.
Basic.
That looks like
Ju-
Photoshop.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's awesome.
I did make this, in fact.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
Orange, green, Miami colors.
You could make this in your
Bad Boys for
Do
Life.
you really
Come
think that's good?
on.
Yeah,
I
are
couldn't
you
even
kidding me?
see
It's
Will.
simple. It's basic.
All right, now you're fanboying.
Will
You're,
Smith's
you're a
face.
bad boy shill.
Yeah, that's
Well,
fine.
you
I
can't
get
see
it.
their faces.
You can't see their faces, and you also can't see.
They're looking down.
It looks like it was.
Wait, is this a for real poster like for the movie? Like
yeah.
Oh, I thought this was just Will Smith made it.
No, it's a real poster. real poster.
Ah, there it is.
The art department should not be.
No.
So
Yeah, I think
like it's Bad Boys for Life. You got to show stuff blowing up. They
Yeah.
got to make it like an old.
Yeah,
do
this
you
is
remember the movie
not
Miami Connection? Did you ever see
Steve
the
Martin?
post? No, that was like that crazy guilty movie pleasure karate movie, the Miami Connection.
No, but I want to.
The poster for that is incredible. That's what the Bad Boys movies need.
Yeah, I was expecting something
neons,
like that.
explosions,
Yeah.
and they need a Star Wars poster with everything exploding in it.
Yeah, I was expecting something like that.
I'll take that.
Yeah, this wasn't good.
Did you-
So what, is this it? This is what the movie you're talking about?
Yeah, look at
No,
it.
I've never heard of this movie.
Sick poster.
Great stuff.
Yeah, looks like a double dragon poster. to be
87.
honest. Yeah.
1987.
Did
That
you
is a
did
cool
you see
poster.
the Death Star over that Barstool Sports posted?
No.
Over New York. All right, go to Barstool Sports Instagram. Cody,
Aliens and shit?
Please, aliens and shit.
Aliens and shit.
They posted a picture of the Death Star over New York last
Oh.
night, and said we're all fucked.
Where is it?
Keep going
It'll probably
down.
get deleted again.
Nope, there it
Oh,
is.
there
Look
it is.
on the far right.
post
Cody,
a
see
lot.
it right there.
So what
there
is
it
it?
is. Video captures the Death Star hovering above NYC.
I don't understand what that means.
I don't.
Wait, I have a dumb
It's
question.
either the moon-
Isn't that the moon?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, but
it
probably
looks-
it's just like the shadows and
Yeah.
the clouds, and
the Death
we get
Star.
that.
I got it.
The
That's cool,
UFOs
though.
are coming
Look
together.
at
Disney's
this.
pulling it out for the Rise of Skywalker
They
marketing.
sure are.
It's true.
Wow, that would be epic.
How sick would it be
They've
if they
been
could
waiting
send
for
somebody to
episode
the
9.
moon
To make the Death Star.
make the Death Star the moon?
I'm just thinking, like,
Make
what
a
if-
Death Star.
What
Come
if
on.
aliens
That's
are
true.
huge fans of Star Wars and, like, for episode 9, they make a big appearance?
Yeah.
Like, we're here.
I'll
What
take
book
it.
was that? There's a book that they said
Admiral
how much
Akbar?
was it making? Who's the
A murderer.
Chris? Who did the
Chris Taylor?
Yeah, Chris Taylor. Was it Chris Taylor's? How much it would actually cost to make?
Yes.
it was right.
Yes.
How much it would actually cost to make the Death Star?
It's a whole book?
It's
Yeah.
well,
no,
he
no,
goes
it's like
into
a chapter. It's like a chapter. He talks to like real engineers and stuff like how it was like it's in the zillions.
Yeah, there's like not enough money in the world to
yeah,
make
yeah.
a Death Star
Yeah,
or something.
It's crazy.
So we need those aliens to come in
yeah,
so we
right.
can.
They got that technology.
Yeah.
That
It's insane.
face swapping technology.
Yeah. Oh, here you go. So it would cost 15.6 septillion to build. How much?
What's
is
a
that?
septillion?
I don't even know. How much is that?
I think
That's how much it would cost.
Is that after billion? No, trillions after billion.
trillion. Septillion. Sept is 7.
But guys, think
So
out.
like it's 15 to the x
Oh my
7
gosh.
billion.
I want to see
Jesus.
how many zeros.
But how many jobs would that create? That's
That's
what's
right.
great.
Every,
That would really
it would,
get the
it would create a
economy
job for everyone.
Everybody.
Well, look at
everyone would
this.
have a job.
My unborn kids,
Yeah, everyone
grandkids
would
will
have
have
jobs.
jobs.
Yeah.
So what comes after vigintillion? That can't be a word.
That's dirty.
Oh, I like your
A
vigintillion.
billion, of course, a trillion.
Doing that vegetarian.
Then
My
comes
God,
That's
guys.
sextillion. It's right afterwards too.
yes,
So there you go.
quadrillion,
But that was not as
sextillion,
dirty.
It's after
septillion.
sextillion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why does vigintillion sound sexier than sextillion?
I know. I don't know. All right.
Is that like cotillion?
All right, listen, let's go to break.
Yes.
We go to break. When we get back, we'll finish some more news stories, and then we'll take some phone calls from you guys. Anything you want to talk about, anything from the CM Punk interview, anything from Josh being scared, any other news stories you want to talk about, we'll talk about it when we get back after the break.
Hey guys, it's Perry here to let you know that Movie Talk is moving. We've had a great time in this 3 p.m. Pacific slot, but guess what? We want you to start your day with Collider Movie Talk, so we're moving. 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to get a longer show with some brand new segments, so tune in starting Monday, September 16th, 9 a.m. Pacific. See you there.
Hey everyone, John Roca here, the host of Collider Sports Time. Well, you know, if you've been watching us every week, you know we break down the latest and the greatest in the world of sports, talk about the big issues, the big games, all of it with a rotating band of guests like Matt Nose and Josh McCouga. We've had Taylor Bisciotti on. We've had so many great guests. Now, if you want to see more of Sports Time or you want to try it out for the first time, remember to subscribe to Collider Sports YouTube channel for all the sports goodness.
Hey guys, it's Riley here. Let me tell you about the Riley Roundtable. You know it, right? It drops every Thursday on Collider Conversations, and I have guests from all across the space. John Roca, Gray Drake, Alexander Desplat came on at one point. We talk everything from movies, we talk about life, and everything in between. What do you want to hear? What do you want to talk about? It's the Riley Roundtable every Thursday on Collider Conversations. You get it there.
Hi, I'm Coy Jandro, host of Collider Heroes, and I'm here to tell you we've got 20-minute episodes coming at you on Collider Video, on the YouTube, as you've always loved it. Plus, now we've got hour-long podcasts dropping every Thursday, so make sure to subscribe to the podcast because it's going to get even more sweaty on the podcast. Plus, every week, we're going to try to get some very special guest interviews, all of the people that help shape these movies and TV shows you love. So, video, podcast, interviews, all coming at you. Be sure to subscribe. Thanks so much, guys. Stay sweaty.
Well, hello there. I'm Ken Napzok, one of the hosts of Collider Jedi Council, and I'd like to invite you to listen to our show, watch our show. It's on every Thursdays on the Collider Video channel, and it's also available in podcast form if you'd like to listen to our sweet voices on Collider Jedi Council. Me, Kristian Harloff, and a bevy of guests, I say, talk Star Wars. We celebrate Star Wars. We dig into the Star Wars news. We speculate everything about Star Wars, including your questions. So join us on Collider Jedi Council. You're going to have a great time.
What's up, Collider fans? Ryan Satin here from ProWrestlingSheet.com, where you can find the top stories throughout the week in the world of professional wrestling. If you're a wrestling fan like myself, then you'd be doing yourself a disservice by not checking out all the shows we do every week on YouTube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet. In particular, on Wednesdays, we've got a SmackDown recap show hosted by John Roca and myself, where we pick apart and talk about every little thing that happened on the Blue Brand. So do yourself a favor and go subscribe at youtube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet.
Hey guys, Riley here, and let me tell you about Rule of Two. You looking for a Star Wars fix? Well, Rule of Two is that show. It drops on Collider Video's main YouTube channel, as well as on Podcast One's Jedi Council feed. So go over there, subscribe, share it with your friends. It's hosted by myself and Mark Fernandez. We talk everything in the Star Wars universe with a lot of deep dives and a lot of conversations that go all in. You know what to do. Subscribe, join us there, and rise.
Hey everyone, John Roca here, the host of Collider Mailbag. A new episode drops every Saturday and Sunday in your face and in your ears, answering the questions from you fans about the world of entertainment, film, and television. Me and great guests from our sphere do the best to answer your questions from Twitter, from Instagram, and of course, email as well, every Saturday and Sunday.
Hello, how are you guys doing? I'm Kristian Harloff. I'm the host of Collider Jedi Council. We talk about everything Star Wars. It's movie news, it's canon, it's all of it. We take questions from you guys. How do you do it? Main channel, that's right here. Subscribe to this channel. But if you want to just listen to it, you got the podcast feed too. Apple Podcasts, you can listen to it in your car. Do all of it. It's Star Wars. Episode 9's coming out. And then after Episode 9, you got TV shows. So we're going to be your sports center for Star Wars. Do it. Come on. Be real.
Hi, I'm Amy Dallin, one of the hosts of Collider Heroes, and starting right now, you can catch our show Tuesday nights with a new Collider Heroes and a longer Collider Heroes podcast, where Coy and I are gonna talk your ears off. You already know that's coming. So make sure to go to YouTube, subscribe, and find us on the Collider Heroes podcast feed for all of that sweaty goodness.
The Witching Hour is all over Collider right now. You can listen to that horror-filled podcast with myself, with Haley Fouch. We talk about witchiness, we talk about slashers, we talk about space horror, you name it, all on that show on the Collider Factory feed. And on top of that, you can find an article all about Witching Hour every single Tuesday on Collider.com. Check it out, get scared. Hopefully you survive the Witching Hour.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. It is Collider Live. It is Wednesday, October 2nd. And what a show thus far. We showed some clips from Makuga getting scared out of his mind. We talked about the Bad Boys 3 poster, the Rock Vin Diesel. CM Punk was in here for a full hour talking
What
to
does
myself.
CM stand for? Like Charles
Chick Magnet.
Oh. Huh.
Yeah, CM Punk. He's been Phil Brooks. He was awesome. You would actually Doug talking to him, and he no bullshit, at all. So you'll be able to check out if you didn't get a chance to see. If you just tune in now, you can go back and watch the full interview. We'll be piecing it out on the Collider Live channel also, because there's a lot of cool stuff that Phil talked to us about.
So he goes by Phil.
Well, his name's Phil, but I saw an interview where people asked him, I said, well, what do we call you? And he said, you can call me Phil, you can call me Punk, you can call me, whatever. It's like
CM?
I don't think a lot of people call him CM.
I think it's really hard for the WWE people afterwards because they don't know what name to go by.
Right.
You want to be. I noticed on his IMDb. His IMDb name is CM Punk.
Yeah.
Because
that's how people are going to search for him.
So right, and if you need to find him, so it's like that's why it's such a huge accomplishment that Kathy Kelly got to keep her name as Kathy Kelly, which never happens.
Well, the announcers
She's not a wrestler.
The announcers have a better chance.
But very often they still don't.
Like who? What announcers?
All the time. Well, even like Johnny going, they changed it to John Quasto instead of Johnny LaQuasto.
Right.
It happens now all the time coming up. They little things or Christy Olsen,
You
Christy
okay
St.
there?
Cloud.
What happened?
I'm joking.
Jesus.
Somebody just jumped through. It's like one of the littles.
R.J. Stryer over here.
We are the littles.
Christy St. Cloud, who's Christy Olsen. They changed it to St. Cloud. They do that.
Is she an
I would say
announcer?
95% of the
Mean
time.
Gene Okerlund.
Yeah.
Did they change my ex-girlfriend's name to Crazy Insano?
Oh, she's over there, right?
Did they change her name?
I have no idea. I don't. Yeah, like
Who
I
was
know.
it? Did we talk about this already? You don't
Every
say?
time
She's
you
an
bring
NXT
it up,
person.
This is what happens. Every time he brings it up, then he's upset we're talking about it.
No, it's not true. I don't know. I figured you guys watch wrestling. You might know if her name's
But I don't know who she is.
Donnie McClain.
I don't know who she is.
What's her name for real?
Sarah
McLaughlin?
Great actress.
In the
We are the
arms
littles.
of an angel.
Okay.
PETA. Guys, I really just choked on my own spit.
Good last moment there
God,
we
I
have.
hate when
PETA.
that happens.
All right.
PETA.
Moving on.
That's what
All right,
I'm saying.
let's get to some. I want to open
It's
up the
amazing
phone
after all
lines
those
a
years
little
of
bit.
swallowing, you still choke on your spit. I'm not like swallowing. That came out wrong. That came out wrong. That came out so wrong. Cody, time out. End the reel. End the reel. End it. End it. End it. Jesus Christ, Josh. Oh my God. Oh God. Oh fuck. Did you hear that?
That's going to be a clip out.
Oh man.
Oh.
Turn your mic off.
I meant like, as a person, you swallow all day long.
The involuntary act of
after all those
swallowing.
Years, after all those years of...
I'm not going to save you.
If you ever wanted to, no, Brad,
Yes.
no. That, oh my
my
God.
God, you got full
Roxy.
circle.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's, I don't know how to help you on that one.
The second you said it, I couldn't even.
No.
Yeah, I mean, you went too far.
Yeah, I legit think like as your like a bodily function, like after all the times you've actually swallowed like
Be
food
careful.
or tea or coffee,
it's
you
not-
still can choke on your spit. Man.
All right.
Guys,
Vin Diesel and The Rock made up.
It was
Did you see that Bad Boys poster?
Do you guys think that was the best that the show's ever been?
I mean, that particular
That
line.
one.
The fact that he caught himself and had a conversation with himself afterwards was pretty good.
How do you not catch that? when
No,
it
but I
comes
mean,
out?
but he said, "Oh no, no, no."
Maybe
no.
you should have swallowed it.
Yeah.
Oh no.
nailed that.
After
Thanks,
all
Christy St. Cloud.
After all those years swallowing. There's a soundbite. All right, let's go. Let's move on before the show's canceled. Riley, what's next?
Well,
We're taking calls, no?
We are.
Well,
we're
we'll
gonna
take
do
some
the rest
calls,
of the stories
but we do have the Borat writer Dan Mazer is in talks to direct the Home Alone reboot over at Disney Plus.
I don't want anything to do with this reboot.
Yeah, especially
I'm into it.
They're twisting the premise where it's a married couple go to war with a young boy who has stolen something from them.
Same.
That's not Home Alone. That's
not
just a
Home
heist
Alone.
caper with a 12-year-old.
Just make it a different
Sorry, I yelled
movie.
into the
You don't need it. You don't need it.
I don't get it.
You don't need to
I'm
do
fine
it.
with it. It's gonna be an awesome movie.
But you don't
Rock
need
on.
to call it Home Alone. That's to me. You're just going off the name of the property, and it's not Home Alone. Just make a different movie. Make the same movie. Just call it something different.
Call it Alone
Borat
the
2.
Home.
Because I like Mikey Day. It's Mikey Day.
Yeah, Mikey Day's funny.
Here's how it's going to go, though. Melissa McCarthy is probably going to be in it.
Yeah, they're gonna get some star
rumored.
power.
She's. You think she's gonna be the mom?
Yeah.
Who's the
No,
dad?
she's gonna be the kid who stole
So
something.
she's gonna be the Joe Pesci.
We've seen this movie
Well,
already.
she could have been the Grinchy guy. What's his name?
Daniel Stern.
But
Joe
why
Pesci.
not? Why not do a movie? Like, listen, if you could do Melissa McCarthy and Will Ferrell,
neither
right?
of them.
But listen. Why? If you
And
could
that's
do-
what they're talking.
If you could do Melissa McCarthy and Will Ferrell as this married couple who are essentially the wet bandits, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you could do you do a trailer, and it looks like this kid has taken something from him, and all this stuff happens. And not call it Home Alone. Call it something completely different. You go, it kind of looks like Home Alone. It's like it's like an homage to Home Alone.
Great.
That to me, you're like, it's kind of okay. It's like Home Alone meets something,
Right.
As opposed to just trying to do Home Alone again. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I
It's
like it.
Okay.
It's for me. It's not for you.
No, but it's not. It might be a good movie. I don't understand.
But it shouldn't be for you. It shouldn't be for anybody. The Home Alone reboot shouldn't exist. Home Alone still stands alone perfectly. If you had cell phones, I mean, there are some plot holes, but if there were cell phones, it wouldn't exist. So now you have to work around technology to make Home Alone make sense. That's the creative shit.
But why are you guys so upset about it?
Because the movie is perfect. Like, the Home Alone is perfect.
I love Home Alone. They're not remaking it. It's not Home Alone.
They're rebooting something called Home Alone. It's not Home Alone
Right.
5. It's not Home Alone 6. It's not Home Alone 10. Still Home Alone.
Is it the McAllisters? I mean, are they still part of it? I don't know. Well,
I
there
don't
needs to
know.
be more.
I don't think there's going to be McAllisters. I think
don't know.
Macaulay Culkin will probably make some cameo somewhere. But
I don't like
aside
it.
from that,
I don't like
yeah.
You know that guy that is Melissa McCarthy's husband that
Yeah.
she
Ben
puts in
Falcone.
every
Ben
movie?
Falcone.
Ben.
Ben
What,
Falcone.
Riley worked
what
with
if
him at
they did
CPK?
it
I
together?
did.
Why isn't he bigger? He's funny.
Because he's not because here's the biggest problem.
He's
I think he's
hysterical.
very
Yeah.
funny. I think a lot of stuff he's done as far as acting goes has been good. I think that actually him making so many movies with Melissa McCarthy has hurt his career.
Yeah, I
because the
agree.
movies that they write together and do together are terrible.
Yeah, they're not great.
And
But maybe they should be the couple in this.
maybe I wouldn't
I
mind
love
that.
his acting.
His acting is good and they work well
Yeah.
together on screen. But like his directing stuff with her, it's just like they're doing
What
There's-
movies have they done together?
directing wise. Let's go
Yeah.
to directing.
There's
What'd you say his name was?
That's so Life of the Party.
There's an amazing
The
show
Boss,
called Nobodies that
Tammy,
was on Paramount
oof.
Network. Yeah, Tammy was pretty bad.
I think those are the three that they did together.
I like Spy. Oh,
They didn't do Spy.
it.
It was Paul Feig.
Okay. Well.
There was a show
There we
called
go.
Nobodies on Paramount Network. It had 2 seasons. It was amazing. It was one of the most underrated shows of all time. It was a comedy. It starred 3 of these people that went to Groundlings with them. That was
Yeah.
like they graduated Groundlings with them. They've all worked and stuff. But Melissa McCarthy played a crazy version of herself, and Ben Falcone played himself in the show. I think it was their best 2 performances and her best performance since Bridesmaids.
Which one was this?
A show called Nobodies.
That's what it's showing here. So
Wait.
let's go to Superintelligence real quick. Is that another Melissa McCarthy one?
Yes, and he directed it too.
It's like, come on. It's like he can't. It's like the guy's he's a talented. He could direct other people, and it's like he's just only doing movies with her.
Speaking of TV shows that we had never heard, though, Kristian, what was the one that CM Punk just told me to watch? Josh, I'd never heard of it.
Oh, we brought it up.
CM Punk's favorite show.
It's called-
I had never heard of it.
What was it called, guys? Do you remember?
Ad and Buster.
Leonard.
Something in Leonard.
Yeah.
Oh, Happen Leonard.
Happen Leonard.
You know that?
Yeah, it's Michael Kenneth Williams and I think Steve Buscemi.
No, it's James Purefoy.
James
Did
Purefoy.
you ever
sorry.
watch it?
Never watched it.
Wow,
Yeah,
I've heard good
I had
things.
never heard of it.
He loved it.
Yeah.
He loved it.
It's on
CM Punk.
AMC, I think, right?
No, it was
Sundance TV, and then it went
Sundance
over to
TV.
Netflix.
There you go.
Anyway,
I'll watch it.
All right, let's get the phone lines open. Unless there's anything else we should talk about, Riley.
I mean, just to touch on West Side Story wrapped filming. Steven Spielberg's very, very, very excited about it because it's been such a passion project. He says for 5-10 years he's been working on this.
What a terrible passion.
Anything else?
Let me look real quick.
I'm so upset with
No,
you,
let's
Josh.
open the phone lines. It's
Why?
all right.
What'd I do this time?
Tomorrow, though, I will send out a link because what dropped today is Guy Ritchie's next movie, The Gentleman, which is he's going back to his roots. It's like a gangster kind of movie.
Awesome.
Cool.
It looks cool.
Okay.
It looks really cool.
Oh, there you go. That's the wrap up on the story on news. And as soon as Cody gets those lines open, we'll take some calls with you guys. Like I said, anything. Oh, there you go. Hey, you're on Collider Live. What do we got?
Hey crew, this is Robbie from Poughkeepsie, New York.
Robbie, what's going on? Did you get a chance to listen to the whole show today?
Yep, yeah, pretty much the whole show.
What'd you think about CM Punk?
Oh, he's great. I haven't watched wrestling in the last couple of years, but...
So did you watch it when he was on?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. What do you got for us today?
Well, Rick Moranis has been coming up on the show once in a while, and I got a two-parter. So first part is, do we ever think Rick Moranis will reprise one of his roles? And secondly, I saw that Disney owns the rights to Spaceballs. And do we think that that'll be on the streaming service, or do you think they'll make another Spaceballs?
I think one leads into two, and I think one is no, he doesn't come back, and you can't do Spaceballs without Rick Moranis.
Yeah. Right, totally.
I agree, and I agree.
Yeah.
I think the biggest issue you have is one, I don't think that Spaceball, again, yes, you don't do Spaceballs without Rick Moranis. If there's anything he would come back for, it would probably be this new Ghostbusters movie with Jason Reitman. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It'd play like a small bit part, but I think he wants nothing to do with Hollywood, and that's his. But also, too, is I don't think a Spaceballs movie does well in today's comedy market.
See, the only reason I think that it would is because Star Wars is back in the zeitgeist.
Very true.
And I think
Very
that
true.
if you basically spoofed the new trilogy, you probably could do some fun stuff.
I think
with
it could, yeah. With Spaceballs especially. Blazing Saddles, another story.
Yeah.
You know,
Blazing Saddles,
but
no.
Spaceballs, I think it was a lot of good humor that wasn't like Blazing Saddles, which was kind of pushed.
If they did Spaceballs now, it would be the episode 7, 8, and 9.
Probably.
That they're spoofing.
They make fun of it.
Or they could do the prequels.
Yeah.
They could do. I mean, they could do all of them. I mean, they could do everything.
I think doing
if they
the
wanted to.
prequels would be the move.
It'd probably be all of it.
Yeah.
It'd probably be all of it.
They spoofed everything. They spoofed Alien. They spoofed Star Trek. They spoofed it's sci-fi.
Yeah, because remember that movie came out in '87, and they didn't. There wasn't really a lot of Return of the Jedi spoofing in that movie. It was more Empire and New Hope.
Only one man there. Give me
Are you guys Spaceballs fans?
Love Spaceballs.
Me too.
Love Spaceballs.
It's more than
thank you
Galaxy
for the
Quest?
call.
Yes.
People love Galaxy Quest. Like, they love it. I always thought it was good.
Yeah,
I love Galaxy Quest, but Spaceballs I think is my favorite.
Sigourney Weaver looks amazing in that movie, by the way.
I don't think I've ever picked up a jam or jelly that says raspberry on it and not done the quote of Spaceballs.
Or yogurt.
Yeah.
Lone Star.
Yeah. Merchandising. All right, thank you. Hey, you're on Collider Live. What do we got?
Hey, this is Brandon from Missouri.
Hey, Brandon from Missouri. What's up? What do you got for us today?
So kind of playing off the last caller's question, if you could bring back any actor from the dead to either reprise a role or to be in like a new genre or a classic movie, who would you want to bring back?
Yeah, it's too easy for me. It's Robin Williams to do anything, whether it's another Jumanji movie, whether you come back.
He would have been awesome in Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle.
Yeah,
awesome.
Have him in because it could have played for sure. Have him do another. If they were going to do Aladdin,
I was going to say, do you think it would be like James Earl Jones coming back from Mufasa? It would
Probably,
have been,
yeah. I would have liked.
I think so too.
The answer is having him do anything, just to have him back. He was the only celebrity that I actually shed tears for. It was the one he passed. It was so. It's like I don't know why. I mean, I met him once, but I for some reason I felt like I knew him.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So that would be my choice.
That'd be Carrie Fisher in episode 9.
Yeah,
finish her story as it was planned.
Right.
She's in it.
Roxanne?
For me, I always think about the people who died way too soon. A lot of these people died very soon, but like Corey Monteith from Glee, that was like that one hit me like a shit ton of bricks. And also musicians are the ones that I like want to come back for one more time. You guys know I'm on my Chris Cornell kick, but more so like you think about the Kurt Cobains of the world. Like what could they have done? Anybody who's a member of the 27 Club, it's like. Amy Winehouse, Jim Morrison, Jimi Hendrix, just the whole,
Well, Richard Pryor doing another Harlem Nights would have been awesome.
Yeah, I always go back to Richard Pryor because he got so sick so quick.
Who did Pryor?
Pryor.
Yeah.
That like you were just robbed of the genius of because Richard Pryor man, as an older man, if he would have stayed, him as an older man would have been hysterical.
Did he have cancer? I don't know.
No, he messed himself up pretty bad with drugs.
Mm.
Yeah. So who would you take? You take Pryor?
Pryor.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you for the phone call. We'll take two more. We started the show kind of early. We'll probably end a little early. Hey, you're on Collider Live. Who do we got?
Hey, motherfuckers, it's Matt from fucking Maine.
Yes.
Really is the best.
He's now getting some Saul action here, getting
Saul
through.
action. Do we know exactly where in Maine you're from? Where in Maine are you from?
I am from Lisbon Falls.
Lisbon Falls. Isn't Mandrake Falls
Lisbon
is like
Falls.
the one from Big Daddy or from Mr. Deeds? Mandrake Falls,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. What do you
Oh
got?
yeah, dude.
Wow. Nice
Well, I
poll.
got I got 2 questions for you, Kristian. By the way, happy birthday
Thank
yesterday.
you.
For
Thank you.
yesterday.
Appreciate it.
Number one, like, all right, the Smos is like a big deal in my house with my daughters, and you hinted around to like a TV, possible TV league, and dude, they lost their shit. Okay.
The Schmodown
And-
TV division. That's what you're asking?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Is that you're hinting? Is that like a possibility or?
Everything's a possibility. The reason why I've kind of hinted at it is that next season, we're looking to try to expand, and with that, hence the creation of the SEN network to try to bring in more and more revenue, so we can then start new new divisions, get new people to run stuff. So TV is something that you'd have to do a certain way because it's so vast. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to have Roxy and freaking Josh in
Definitely.
there, dude. 'cause-
Oh, I don't know if I could do a TV
I mean-
without those two. Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
What was the other one you got for us?
Yeah, it's so hard.
The second one, dude, is like how long, like after a movie is like in the theater or out of the theater before you can start mining that movie for questions for like the Schmodown?
Oh,
what
it's
I'm
a
saying?
good question.
that's a pretty good
That's a good question. It's the new releases. The way we have it is anything over the last 16 months. So that's what counts as a new release. Now you can ask something from a movie that came out after about a week or two, but it's got to be pretty generic, such as who stars as the late night host in the Joker. That everybody in this room could get because you've seen the trailer enough.
Jeff Daniels?
No.
Oh, it's De Niro.
Yeah.
Right. Makes sense.
You missed me yesterday, Christian. This is meltdown city for me.
Oh yeah,
Right. Trivia.
Roxy.
I've never seen. It's like me.
I
in
don't
a horror-
understand it.
In Horror
Your
Nights.
brain just shuts off.
No,
She's just like
I
so-
can't.
What do you think Robert De Niro's IMDb?
What is Robert De
movie
Niro's first
I
name?
literally don't know what movies he's been in. I mean, like
What is his IMDb that pops up from Robert
Who is
De Niro?
sitting in this room right
the
now?
parents.
I
the
think
parents,
Raging
parents,
Bull.
Parents.
What was the
Meet
question?
the parents.
What was the question?
So the IMDb game. What do you think the movie that is first listed under Robert De Niro or like all these
Meet the
big names?
Parents.
So like Tom Cruise, it was Top Gun.
Taxi Driver.
So you're saying Taxi Driver? You're saying Meet the Parents.
Yeah.
And I said
Cape
Raging
Fear.
Bull.
And Cody in the booth?
I'm gonna go with Dirty Grandpa.
Dirty Grandpa. The correct answer. Mark Riley stays his winning ways. Raging Bull.
Nice.
Raging
Wow,
Bull.
wow.
What a girl. That's because I won so many awards, right? Is that where you went with that?
I don't know. For me, I just pick what
Thank you for the call,
I
by
think
the way.
he could be like most known for.
Thanks, motherfucking Matt.
Awards consideration.
But
I think
it's
goes
so
into
weird,
it.
dude. Like it doesn't like it's such a crapshoot. Jennifer Lopez is Gigli on there.
Well, that
Like,
makes sense.
And if
when
you
think
were
about
wondering
it.
if she was in Hitch, the answer is no.
That's Ava Mendes.
I just couldn't remember.
That's all right. You're all
I
right.
couldn't remember a single movie of hers.
Let's do one more call and then we'll call it a day. See what I did there?
Yeah.
Call it.
Made in Manhattan.
Yeah.
Seen it all.
Hey, you're on Collider Live. Who do we got?
Hey, this is Travis from Florida again. How we doing, guys?
Hey, Travis. What's going on? What do you got for us today?
Okay, so I had a little scenario pop into my head for the past week or so.
Uh-oh.
So we all know this whole Sony Spider-Man debacle has now pretty much been solved, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Undebacled.
Okay, cool. So my thought was, what if on the other end of that, say it didn't go like, what's the word? Say it went the other way and Sony said, no, screw that, we're just going to make it our own thing. What if they just shut down the Spider-Man as we know it, but yet made it a TV show to where it would basically show Peter B. Parker from friggin' Into the Spider-Verse, but as a live-action show, kind of like a live-action show.
You'd have to lock down. You'd have to lock down Tom Holland for that for a longer period of time. Right now, it's just and that's the last thing they're going to want to do is try to connect once again to do that. I mean, like maybe they're saying maybe if it's a separate series off of just Sony without Marvel, maybe. But I just then they'd have to find it on a different service altogether. I just don't think Disney, and I think that they're going to kind of cut their losses after these next two movies.
All right. I was saying more on Sony's end, but all right. Well,
Yeah.
I think that Tom Holland views himself as an incredibly serious actor.
Really?
And the people that are in his class right now are doing these major indies like the Timothy Chalamets of the world. And I think if he's going to stay with being Spider-Man, which I think he loves playing, he wants it to be with Marvel. That's the whole point. He's loved being part of the MCU. So I don't think he would be as keen to do a Sony Marvel any kind of long-term 6-movie or TV show, multiple season thing. I just don't think he has interest in that. But I don't know him, so that could be not true.
Well, thank you for the call, and thank you guys for joining us here today. Thank you to Josh McCouga, Mark Riley, Hey Alex, Cody Hall, Roxy Stryer, CM Punk coming in today for the full hour. Thank you. Make sure you check that interview out if you haven't watched it. And myself, Kristian Arlo. Follow us all on the Twits and on the Instagrams. Get your tickets to the schmodownlive.com October 19th. Be there, and tickets for Spectacular will be on sale very soon. We'll see you tomorrow.
I hear that.
Hear what? She hears something.
He is still working on his spoonsmanship.